All right, y'all, shalom. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Brother Amon is on his way, but in the meantime, we can just read some scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, is this on? It was on. Damn, that's crazy. That's all praise. All praise to the Most High God. Right? What's that? Echo. Test. Test. There we go. Right? I'm going to start this off by saying, call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praises be unto Yahweh in the name of his son, that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose real name is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Right? I'm with San Antonio Masada, soon to be joined by my cohort. Right? We are of San Antonio Masada. We come out here week in and week out to tell blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the scattered Israelite diaspora around the earth that we are the real Israelites, the real Jews. Believe in the Bible? Believe in the Bible, sir?
I do.
You do? What tribe you come from in it? Do you know?
Are you what are they called?
Hebrew Israelite.
Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah. So I have a question. Who's God's chosen people?
Well, I would say those who believe in Christ.
Well, who did Christ come for?
To save Jew and Gentile.
Where does it say that?
Galatians.
Yeah, that's Paul's letters. Where did Christ say that?
Christ.
Christ never said he came for the Gentiles.
Well, okay.
Okay, but let's read a few things from Christ, right? This is John 17 and verse number 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. So who did God give Christ as an inheritance? Did you know that that's in Jeremiah 51 and 19? Let's read it. And while I get it, are you Mexican by chance?
No.
What are you?
I'm adopted.
Okay. But what are you ethnically, like biologically? You might want to search out who your fathers are, because according to the Bible, Numbers 1 and 18, you are who your father is. Right? So if you happen to be East Indian by chance, you would come from the nation of Elam. But let me get what I was going to get. Right? And this is to my camera. When people say that they love Christ, but when you ask them questions about what Christ said and they don't know, then you have to question how much they love somebody. Because if you love your parents, you would remember what they tell you, right? Right. So if you love Christ, what's the big deal? Right. So this is Jeremiah 51 and 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. So the inheritance of God that he gave to Christ is named Jacob. Well, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So it's the same old people, once again, the Israelites. Now, when you say there's no difference between Jew and Greek, we didn't say Gentile, we said Jew and Greek. That word for Greek in the Greek is Helleniste. Are you familiar with the Hellenistic movement of the Grecian Empire?
That was before before that we started writing the Bible, right? With the Hellenization, because it comes from Alexander.
Well, no, because if you look at First Maccabees 3 and 48, it said the heathen had opened the book of the law and started to paint their images in the law. So they were basically painting over the black and brown images of the Israelites and making them look like Greeks or Romans. Who are the Greeks and Romans? If you had to give them a name today, who would you call them?
Well, it depends on where they're at.
Okay. Well, what are they called in America?
Well, what did you mean by that? They're Mediterranean.
Well, that's a region. So if I call myself Middle Eastern, That's not an ethnicity. That's a region on the planet.
Yes. Okay, so then re-emphasize what your question was.
Sure. So if you had a Roman, if you had somebody who's Greek, somebody who's American, Ukrainian, what do they all have in common? They're white people, bro. Like, they literally go back to the same forefather.
They're not white.
How?
Well, I mean, look at them. There's a difference between what kind of people. Not to mention, I feel like putting race as such an emphasis on this,
Mhm.
that kind of misses the point almost.
Did you actually read the Bible? Are you familiar with what God says about race?
What does he say?
Sure. This is Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Notice that we're still on that inheritance thing. It came up again, and it looks like the Israelites are God's inheritance, even in the Torah. What's that about race again? Again, this is to my camera. Those saying they love God but don't know what God said, you do God a disservice every time you put his name on something. So I have a question. When Christ was talking to the woman at the well, what did he say, or who did he say salvation was for?
That was the cemetery. Not cemetery.
Samaritan.
Sumerian.
I got you.
I'm sorry. I wasn't gonna.
No,
Didn't
you're
know I was
good.
gonna be put on the hot show today.
Yeah.
But no.
Now, are you familiar with what that Samaritan woman said to Christ?
She was. Was it not that she was confused as to why he was helping her?
Yes, she was initially. But she said something when she responded to Christ when he spoke of the living water, right? And she said, art thou greater than our father Jacob? I'll read it to you. This is John 4 and verse 7. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus saith unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, right, southern kingdom, right, askest me, or askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealing with the Samaritans. Do you know why that is?
Why?
Because the northern kingdom had been taken into slavery by the Assyrians, and they had been cast off. Remember in the book of Hosea? That whole book of Hosea is God talking about the northern kingdom basically going into slavery to the Assyrians. So they were no longer in Israel in high numbers. Now, can you ever get everybody out of an area if you're making, like, if you say you force people to, say you force Mexicans to leave Texas? There's going to be a few that find a way through the cracks and hang out. Who do you think that Samaritan woman was? We're going to keep going. Then saith the woman of, we read that. Verse 10, Jesus answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob? What does that make her? If Jacob is her forefather, what does that make her? An Israelite. So you have Christ talking to an Israelite. Doesn't it make sense that after he talked to her, he spent an additional 2 days with the Samaritans, converting them to following him? Because some of them were Israelites, and he had to go to the sheep that were not of his fold. Remember that? He said, I have sheep that are not of this fold. Like, again, this is to my camera. When those things are spoken of in the Bible, do you ever stop and go, who is he talking about? You should. Because if you don't,
Clearly, I see I should.
yeah, because if you don't know who the message is for. Now, I want to show you, she gave you a clue about her identity. And a lot of people miss this. Your pastor doesn't got this. I guarantee if you ask him, he's going to fumble and bumble his way through this. But if you read the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7, the Most High God reveals his secret unto his servants, the prophets. That's why some regular, uncollege educated Negro on the street can clown you with the Bible, because the Most High God has opened our eyes to the wisdom of Scripture. Right? But this is verse 12. Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. We're going to skip to the point. Verse 22, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Christ said that. So who's salvation for? The Israelites. Now, what is salvation?
I feel like whatever I'm going to say is not going
No.
to
Just say, because you might get it right.
I feel like it would be, in a mortal sense, dying to yourself to
Okay.
become one with Christ in the afterlife, so that you can fully worship and serve God.
You're actually not all the way off. Being able to worship God according to spirit and truth, that's part of salvation. But again, if salvation is for the Israelites, why do we need salvation in the first place? Because where are the Israelites in the New Testament? They're slaves to the Romans. Where were they before they were slaves to the Romans? They were slaves to the Greeks. How about before that? Remember the Persians and Medes? Remember Daniel's dream with the statue? You had the gold, the silver.
Gold, silver,
Yes.
stone, and clay. Or was it stone and
It's an iron and clay mixed at the
Iron and
bottom.
clay,
You're, so you know about the prophecies. This is why you have to study to know what these prophecies mean. Because you had the Babylonians as gold, you had the Persians and Medes as silver, you had the Greeks as the brass or the thighs, and then you had basically the feet, the miry clay, right? Which is the rebirth of Rome, a mixed society. Because can clay and iron ever mix? No. You can melt them down and mix them together, but they'll separate all the same. They're not the same. So you would have a kingdom that is partly strong and partly broken. Well, that means somebody in that kingdom has to be on top and somebody has to be on the bottom. And when we look in the scriptures, the Israelites are more times than not on the bottom because they keep breaking God's laws. This is what salvation is. It's in Luke 1:68. Right? This is Luke 1:68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies. Remember all the slaveries I just talked about? Part of salvation is to get out of slavery. Now, if we're the Hebrew Israelites here in America, doesn't it make a lot of sense why we've been in slavery for the last 400 or 500 years and we can't seem to get out? It should. It also should make sense how somebody can come here with no food, no water, and can't even stand out in the sun without sunscreen, and he took over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the world over at the same time. Listen to my camera. When people say they don't believe in God, there's no evidence. The evidence is the white man being in charge. That's all the evidence you need. Because as you think about it, I know you won't admit it to me, but you know who does all the work in this world, and it's not him. You know who does all the trend setting, who sets up everything that people want to copy, emulate, or maintain. It's not him. Remember what I read in Jeremiah 51:19? It said, Jacob is the former of all things. You know those cars you like to drive? Patterson Car Company, the Model T, 2 black men made that. You know that GPS you use every time you want to go city to city? A black woman named Gladys West made it. You know those supercomputers that go in those data centers? A black man named David Blackwell made the first supercomputer. Hell, you're going to go online and search all these things I'm saying using a search engine. A black man named Alan Imtage from Montreal, Canada, invented it, and it's called Archie, the prototypical search engine. Everything you use in this world is made by God's people. They don't get any credit for it. That's according to the scriptures. They make no account of our labors. That's in Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Now, I've mentioned more scriptures than your pastor ever mentions in a full month. Why is that?
You're very well read, I will say that, and you're very passionate.
Definitely. But shouldn't your pastor be? He should. Doesn't he collect money from you? Sure does. I don't want to sit from you. See, and this is to my camera. I don't understand how when the men of the Lord preach the Bible, we get, every skeptic out here is like, that can't be true. But your pastor literally collects money. You pull up on the bus, he pulls up on the Bentley, and you hold the lowest bar of performance for him.
Well, mine take a vow of celibacy and they stay at the church.
Uh-huh.
So they, now I'm not saying that they don't, because we can clearly see with the Osteens and all of those.
Sure.
So I will admit, you're totally right. People have always used everything to try to get over on people.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to say that you're wrong entirely. There's too many nuances to go on about that. But to say that specifically mine, and like that you've already read that my pastor does all these things.
I know he does, because guess what the Bible says? You can't even be a pastor without having one wife. So how's he celibate? When sex is marriage. Remember when Jacob got married to Leah?
Well, but we're all trying to be more like Christ.
Right.
And Christ was unwed.
Did Christ tell you to be unwed?
But we're trying to be more Christ.
No, I get that. Did he tell you to be unwed? What did God tell you to do? God said, be fruitful and multiply.
Yes.
When did Christ say, don't do what God told you to do this? I'm going to help you. Let's go to Matthew 19. I just want to help you. Because here's the thing. I see your zeal for God, but it's got to be according to knowledge. Now, you might be East Indian. I'm just going out on a limb by how you look. Did you know our people are in East India? In Persia? You ever hear of the Siddhi people, Siddis? You should research them. They're the Bantu descended peoples who were put in that land through the Indian Ocean slave trade. You ever hear of the Dalits, D-A-L-I-T? Yeah, it's another group of people brought there during the slave trade. You ever hear of, the Khazarians? You ever hear of Khazar? Khazaria. Well, Khazaria is known for being almost exclusively white, except for when you look back through history, you had Kara Khazars and Aki Khazars. Aki Khazars being the white Khazars, Kara Khazars being black Khazars. Remember in Acts 2, when you had the miracle of everybody talking in their own language and they understood each other? We're going to go back there real quick, because I want to substantiate what I'm saying. It's not about where you're from, it's about who your fathers go back to. And if your father goes back to Jacob, you're an Israelite. Don't matter what you look like. And it doesn't even matter who raised you. I'm not saying your parents aren't important. I'm not saying not to love your parents. You still have to respect and love your parents according to the commandments if you're an Israelite, right? But you have an obligation to serve God according to his dictions and his dictates, meaning what God said and what he commanded. As an Israelite, that is your sole duty, right? Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, right? But this is Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. So where are the Israelites at? Everywhere. That's why when you read in the book of 1 Peter chapter 1, Peter says, to the scattered abroad, greeting. You ever hear that term diaspora? The black diaspora, African diaspora, Jewish diaspora? You've heard it, right? That word in the Greek, it's a Greek word, diaspora. He said to the dispersed abroad, greeting. I'm going to show it to you, right? Because I see you have a passion to try to be as accurate to serve God as possible, right? Whenever somebody says something about the Bible, I'm going to give you the foolproof plan on making sure you don't go awry. And that's just say 2 words, prove it. Prove it. You say we don't have to keep the law. Do you believe we don't have to keep the law? Just believe in Christ and you're good? Okay, so do you have to keep the Sabbath? You do. But even if I didn't believe that, or if I believed it, I would just ask you, prove that to me. Now you see how it puts you in a really awkward spot? Because you know certain things, but you don't know where to go to prove it. What does it say in 2 Timothy 2 and 15? It says, study to show thyself approved.
I may not believe you, but you have challenged me, like, severely, and even if I don't end up following what you believe, I need you to know that because you've challenged me, I think whatever I do end up following, because I'm Catholic currently, I'm probably going to stay that way, because my family before me, all of that, but I think I need to be more educated. You're clearly more educated. I can very clearly admit that, and I just feel as though even if you've not ignited me to follow you and your belief, I think you should still be proud that you have, I guess, challenged me to be better, just period, in reading what we both read here.
Well, just interject. I don't want you to follow me. I want you to obey God. Because if you obey God and I obey God, we're going in the same direction. But you're not following me and I'm not following you. We're following what God said, right? But just to prove my point, right, because I don't like leaving loose ends, this is 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience, and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ. Grace unto you, and peace be multiplied. So he said, to the strangers scattered. When we're scattered abroad, we are strange unto our God, because we serve the gods of the nations that we're scattered to. Are you familiar with Indian teachings of the Bodhidharma in Buddhism? Well, the first Bodhidharma was of the city people. And you remember what I told you about the city people? They're the Israelites. So the reason why they worship Buddha today all throughout Asia is because the Israelites couldn't get it right, and we tried to set up ourselves as gods. You can look all this stuff up. This is to my camera too. I know we say a lot of stuff up here. The Bodhidharmas are the ones that became the first Buddhas. And the first Buddha came from southern India, where basically we were taken into the slave trade, and we were the monks, like the Shaolin monks. They're also known as the Limin, Limin, the black-headed people. How old are you, King?
18.
18.
I know
Okay.
it doesn't look I just moved here.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. I know some of us look older, some of us look younger, right? But as an 18-year-old, this is the information. If you're passionate about knowledge, it won't offend you for somebody to go, hey, look at this, check this out.
Yeah.
And then once you learn it, it's yours. This knowledge doesn't belong to me. It's just mine to give you, because I took the time to learn it. I'm 42, 41, getting harder to remember, right?
You do not look 42.
Most people don't think it. I know, most people think I'm in my 20s.
I was going to place mid. I was going to say that I look older than you do, even though you're older than I am.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Most High God keeps the feet of his saints. Right? It says that in 1 Samuel 2 and 6 on down. So if you're keeping the commandments and doing what God told you to do, because did you know it's in the Bible not to eat too many sweets, to exercise, not to eat too much meat? It's even in the Bible not to eat before you go to bed. This is to my camera. If you actually study the scriptures, it's literally the formula to a long life. Don't it say that in the scriptures? Those who obey God will live a long life?
I've definitely heard that, because they said not to keep your peace, to like hurt others or do others. But you have to obviously make sacrifices. But it was kind of like almost like mental health and physical health before we actually had studies on these different things.
But and here's the thing, all these branches of study that you see out in the world today, why do you think it all somehow goes back here?
It's all the study of God's creation.
I want to show you something that your pastor will not show you, and I don't care how much money you give him, because that'll cost him his congregation. And I know most pastors will say that you don't have to read the Old Testament. But if you don't read the Old Testament, yours might not. If he does, it's your Catholic. Y'all take the whole Bible, which is good, right? But there are a lot of Christian churches that say, hey, man, don't read the Old Testament. Just read the New Testament and go from there. But if you're reading, say, Revelation, you're reading about the dragon with the 7 heads and the 10 horns. What does that mean? Now, you're going to find out more about that, because you're going to go home and you're going to start reading all this stuff.
Yes.
And you're going to look into the Hebrew Israelites, even though you don't follow us. You don't have to. But if you want to learn about these things, the only one teaching it is us. Right? But check this out. This is Ezra 4 and 3. Actually, you know what? We'll start at 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither. So you have a bunch of heathen coming up to the Israelites who are in subjectivity to the Persians. King Cyrus, he commissioned us to go build our temple again and restore Jerusalem, right? But you have the heathen wanting to help. Do you think they let everybody come help? I just want you to guess.
Yes.
Okay, cool. This is verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, you have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our God, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, hath commanded us. Wait a minute. So the chief fathers of Israel told the heathen, you have nothing to do to serve our God with us. Do you think that was personal? It wasn't. Because the Most High God only wants servitude from his people. Did you know we're literally called servants in the Bible, the Israelites? Again, and this is to my camera. That's why it's important to take your time. You read a certain amount of your Bible every day, right? You try to? You should. Start reading every day. If you can, read every day.
Clearly now I know I've completely...
No, and plus, King, you're 18, bro. I know you're living an 18-year-old's life. So enjoy your youth, man. But just because you're young, don't sin. You know what I'm saying? Now, what is sin?
Missing the mark.
Ooh. Did you know it's in 1 John? Sin is the transgression of the law. So what does it mean to transgress a law?
I would assume break.
To break a law. Well, what's a law in the Bible that you shouldn't break? We all know thou shalt not kill, right? That's why you shouldn't do it. Not only is it wrong, it's morally wrong. But
That's why it's wrong.
But that's why it's wrong, because God says it's wrong, right?
Is that what it comes to? Like, he wrote on each man's heart, kind of the conscious part of it is, even if you don't know the Savior, you know these things are wrong.
Israelites, yes.
Okay.
Because when you look at, I'm not going to go into too much, because in Wisdom of Solomon, which is a book in something called the Apocrypha, y'all actually in the Catholic Church, y'all have all, okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So Wisdom of Solomon talks about essentially how the Most High God has dealt with the Israelites according to wisdom, but these other nations, he didn't deal with them according to wisdom. Psalms talks about it as well. A lot of books talk about it, right? The Most High God has not revealed himself to these other nations like he has to the Israelites. In the kingdom of Christ, that's when all the heathen get to come to the temple and learn of our God and learn to follow his ways. Until then, we're in the kingdom of the Gentiles. You know, you've heard that, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now you know what it's talking about. The rulership of the Gentiles. Because who has the rulership next? Christ. Is that the rulership of a Gentile? No, he's an Israelite. And that's how the Israelites are going to be redeemed, starting with their king on down. And then they serve under the Israelites. And they don't serve forever. They only have to pay back basically the usage that they had from the Israelites, putting us in slavery. Double, really, because the Most High God said they have to pay double. Let's be real. 1,000 years, you know, the millennial reign of Christ? That's where that comes from. I have a question to the viewers on my camera and to you. Who do you think is going to build the kingdom?
Israelites?
Why would we build it? We're slaves already. Hold on. Let me take you through. I'm going to take you around the world. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the scattered Israelite diaspora around the earth. We have built every empire and kingdom on the planet. Every single one. Are you familiar with Australia and how it got established? The Austronesian slave trade? Blackbirding slave trade? Kipling massacre? Yeah. So this is stuff that in school you would learn if real history was being taught. How about
I do agree with that. I think there's a severe lack of breadth whenever it comes to teaching, because obviously, I mean, you mentioned these things, I don't have any clue about them.
But here's the thing. Now you're going to go home and you're going to start putting up tabs in your browser, looking this stuff up. And brother, I'm going to tell you, when you get one source of knowledge, you know how Wikipedia works. You're on one page, you click something else, you're learning about something else, and then something else, and then something else. Before you know it, you got like 100 tabs open. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, yo, what am I doing? You're learning. That's what you're doing. But I want to show you real quick that the only people the Most High God knows, right? I know I said I was going to show you some other stuff, but I think you need some of the basics, right? And it's nothing wrong with learning the basics. But I want you to see that the Most High God is only dealing with the Israelites. And this is to anybody who can hear me. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to internalize that the Most High God chooses. But if you get to choose, how come he can't? So you don't have a problem with that. A lot of people they have a immense problem with that. The fact that God has chosen, and he might not have chosen them. Check this out. This is Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. If I were to ask you, what other group of people have gone into slavery on ships on the planet other than Israelites? Remember all the stuff in Australia I told you about? Austronesian slave trade? Because they had to take them in slavery on boats. Because Australia and Tasmania, those are just big-ass islands. So in order to sell slaves and receive slaves, they got to come over on a boat. Where are them slaves coming from? How about areas like Malaysia? You ever hear about the Malaysian slave trade by the Dutch and the Spanish? Look this up when you get home. It's called the Acapulco slave trade.
Acapulco?
Acapulco slave trade. That's when the Spanish conquistador was taking our Mexican brothers to the Philippines. You ever wonder why Filipinos be having Spanish last names?
Oh, they were conquered.
Yeah, they were conquered and enslaved by the Spanish. And they had a triangle trade going from Mexico to, basically the Philippines and the surrounding islands, right? Like the Solomon Islands. They had people from Peru in the Solomon Islands in slavery. And you might be going, damn, the Solomon Islands are very far away. Yeah, they are. But if you kill all your slaves and you need new ones, well, looks like you got a journey to take. See, and this is the stuff that will make you think. And you being a young man, you have so much time to build up and become mighty in these scriptures and in history. And it's not just the Bible either. Check that out. Now, you always hear about people talking about Vikings and all this other shit. But they never tell you that there were different types of Vikings. You ever watch that cartoon Adventure Time? Okay. Well,
It wasn't much of a cartoon. But
that's good. That's good. That's good. And here's one of the reasons why it's good. What's in the Bible, when they cover the faces of the judges thereof, like it says in the Bible, they do it by showing you art, right? So if they paint over a portrait, you can immediately go, wait a minute, I know the real portrait. That's not true. But if they give you your history back in the form of a cartoon, you don't even think to question it, because it's a cartoon. The two types of Vikings were Fingals and Douvgals, are spelled Dub, D-U-B. But in Gaelic, it's pronounced Douv, right? So the term Douv means black, and Finn means white. So when you watch Adventure Time, you have a little white boy named Finn. His name is White. Now, when you look at the Viking lore, they never bring up the Douvgals or the Douvgales. But where were the Douvgales going? Places like Ireland, Wales. As a matter of fact, got another book for you. You know who that man is right there? That's King James the Fifth, right? If you turn it back over, that man right there is his grandson. His nickname is Black Boy. That's King Charles II. Now, you know how they say black people came from Africa? That's partially true. But we're actually the people who ruled in Europe as well, the Byzantine Empire. And what was that time also called? The Dark Ages. Why don't they call it the Dark Ages? Because dark people on rulership.
That's
No,
dumb.
I know. And this is where they require proof. And you know what? Good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. Everybody knows what I'm going to grab out of this book, because I get it every week. This is from Professor Boyd Dawkins, Professor of Geology, Manchester University, London, 1879. Our remote ancestry, pages 95 through 106. And I quote, the original people of Britain, France, Spain, and England were short black men about 5-6 inches in height. That's a white man saying. How about looking up that picture called the Moors versus the Wild Men versus the Moors, where you have black people in castles defending their homestead from the wild men, or what they're called the woodwolves. Basically, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, that was the white man. That was actually him. He used to live out in the wild, covered in body hair, with no spoken language. He was civilized by the Moors. They taught him how to bathe and cook his food. Have you seen the aristocracy of Europe? Like the pictures and the paintings?
A little bit, not a lot.
Not a lot. Now, I don't blame you. Because there is a concerted effort. Did you know that effort to make Israel go away is in the Bible? I'm going to show it to you, and your face lit up. See, that's what I'm looking for. You want to know how to serve your God so that you can be approved. And guess what? That's our whole duty, King. It's in Psalms 83. See, I almost didn't start because, see, my friend, he just pulled up right there. We usually preach together, but something in the spirit told me, that white car right there. Something in the spirit said, go ahead and set up, and somebody's going to walk up, and they're going to need some direction. And I saw you walking up, I was like, there's my man right there. But I'm going to read this to you. And after I read it, I'm going to ask you this question. Why did no one tell you that there was an effort to make the Israelites disappear? This is Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Wait a minute. So there are people on the planet trying to make sure that the Israelites don't exist? And if they do exist, make sure nobody knows who they are. That's why when I said that we're the rulers of Europe, you said that can't be right. Because you've been told white people are in Europe. Where does the white man go without his slaves? I don't expect you to answer that right now. I want you to think about it. Where does he go where he does not have slaves? And as you look at his history, and just whenever you look up an area in the world, just look up wars. So if you look at Ukraine, look at wars during the Dark Ages. And you will see wars occurring in all these nations, France, Netherlands, all of it. Yeah, Novoros. What's up, Shalom King?
Hey, man. Glad to hear.
We got a young king. He's 18, man.
I know it doesn't look it, but
No, you dress like a responsible adult. And plus, you're tall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, that really, it's hard to pretend you're young when you're tall. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gives you a break.
I've been 6 foot since I was like 14, so it's just always been
Oh,
football or you're old.
Yeah, or unless you play basketball. Then that's the only break you get, right? But,
Military? Military?
Nope.
That's impressive.
yeah,
You say you dress well and you're not even military.
yeah, that says your parents did a good job.
My dad was military,
There it is. Yeah,
and they're
there it
both
is.
old. They're both currently in their 50s, so I grew up older, I would say.
Did your dad make you fold the corners on the bed and tuck them in?
He tried, but then I ended up falling out of
Yeah,
bed.
me and my brother did the same shit. It is what it is. But, so we see here in Psalms 83, if you can get that, King, that we see an effort to cut off Israel. Now, did you know, after this, it gives you a laundry list of all the nations who are doing that? Now, you're like, well, aren't you going to read it? We are. I know you got to go soon, but I'm going to read this to you. And this is to my camera. The reason why it's so incredulous, meaning hard to believe, that blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are the Israelites is because you've been told that we're just black. Those are just Hispanics. Yeah, that's the guy who does all the landscaping and construction. Oh, yeah, you know those Native Indians? Yeah, they're drinking themselves to death on the reservation. Never mind them. But if you were trying to hide the Israelites, ain't that the perfect ploy?
I never liked that line of thinking, but
If you're dealing with wicked people, yes, it
it
is.
makes sense to just keep them down. Just
Yeah. And then what do? Say like, I'm a trillionaire. And you know, if you could just get a hold of my debit card, you could be the trillionaire. And I can't take the money back. All you got to do is get the card.
Right.
Well, now you might be inclined to go, hey, look over there. Trying to reach in my pocket. Pickpocket. You might be tracking me, waiting for me to go to a restaurant, and I put my wallet down, and you snatch it round the door. You might not do it, but a wicked person would. Now imagine if you get to sit in the seat of the Israelites and say that you're a Jew. You know those people over in Israel today claiming to be Jews? Did you know Revelation? I'm sorry?
the Ashkenazi.
The Ashkenazi, which is a son of Japheth. So how can you be both a son of Japheth and Judah at the same time? You can't. And not to mention, most of them people came from Poland. See, and you already know this. Benjamin Netanyahu's last name is Melikowski. But anyway, let's get this in the Bible. Can you give me verse 5 on down in Psalms 83?
Psalms chapter 83, verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and the Amalek, and the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have Hopan, the children of Lot, Salah.
So we're going to go over it. It named this laundry list of people. It starts with the tabernacles of Edom. Who are the Edomites?
They were from the east.
Well, they were the people to the southeast of Judah.
Southeast.
So they were the people who shared a border with Judah. And they were the most hated enemy of Israel. Now, would it be strange to believe that the so-called white man is an Edomite? Go to Genesis 27. I want to show you something that the Bible says. It says that Esau would live by the sword. What group of people, no matter where they go, they show up with missiles, bullets, bombs, raping, robbing, killing, spoiling?
Any group.
Really? Can you give me an occasion that Mexicans did that?
Well, you have all of the different tribes, like the Mayans and Incans. They would constantly be battling. There wasn't whites with them.
But here's the thing. They weren't trying to wipe each other out. They lived next to each other. They weren't trying to wipe anybody out. And there's no documented instances of slavery between those tribes.
You didn't say wipe out. You just said rape, sword,
Yeah,
kill.
they didn't do
So
that. They didn't rape one another. They had strict laws against rape. Again, they didn't do that. How about this? How about black people? If we all do it, you should be able to name that black people just went around the earth just clobbering people. We didn't.
Cannot say that that's true.
I'm not saying that we're spotless or we're angels or we're perfect. But what I'm saying, the first order of business after showing up is to literally start pillaging and setting fire to cities. That is a very unique position. Only one group of people on the planet is doing that. You can shake your head, but I can prove it. How about Australia? How'd the white man take that? How about New Zealand? How about Europe? We ruled there. Are you familiar with the Spanish Inquisition? They were doing that to the converse or the Morenos. Are you familiar with Marianism? Basically, where the Jews were practicing the ways of the Bible secretly, so they wouldn't have to go through the Inquisition. Remember? Have you ever heard that term, converso? When they would convert to Catholicism,
Only in name.
they were converting under threat of death. So while the black people were being threatened with death in the European world, they were being threatened with death by the Arabs, by the sword. Muhammad and his forces, the Muslim Caliphate. But here's the thing though, even the Muslims didn't rape, pillage, and burn babies alive, cut babies out of wombs and step on them. As a matter of fact, I need to show you a picture for context. Show me another group of people who did this. What's happening, Tim?
Lynching? Huh?
Yes, but the nature of the lynching, what's happening? He's already been hung. He's been disfigured and maimed, but he's being barbecued alive.
Defilement. It's evil.
Yeah, and you notice that's not a rope, that's a chain. That's something that they used to do. They would chain us, and then they would lower us down in a fire over and over again to prolong the pain of the lynching. And that person would suffer for hours. Oh, no, you're good. I throw it down there like that for a reason, because that's a photography of my people being hung, lynched, burned. And it's not just black people. Mexicans were swinging from the same trees that we swung from. There's a city called Goliad, Texas. There's a hanging tree. And right down a couple of streets is the Mexican hanging tree. So we're going to keep going down the list. You got to go?
I do.
I know, it's hot now. But hey, man,
It was very nice to meet you all.
keep
I
the
know you
law.
said it a little later, but you have a good reading voice, and you're very passionate. I will definitely say that. And you've definitely challenged me. So
Okay.
as I think we just have different means to the same end of serving God, though. So I wish you a blessed day, and genuinely thank you for challenging me.
Have a good one, man. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 real quick. Because there is no different way to serve God other than the way God told you to serve. And if you're not trying to do that, put the Bible down and go live your life. And I say that with all honesty, right? Because Christ told you a servant who is knowledgeable of his master's will and does it not will be beaten with many stripes. So either get it right or get out.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
So your whole duty as an Israelite, if you happen to be one, is to keep God's commandments. Christ never told you to not keep the commandments. He said, if thou will enter into life, keep the commandments. Now, I understand that's a younger brother, but that hold of Catholicism is heavy. And you can see it on his countenance. He looks like he has chains on him. That's why, and that's partially why people mistake him for being older. You look encumbered in the spirit by needless laws and egregious afflictions, like trying to be celibate. Where in the Bible does it tell you to be celibate? But, y'all, we're going to get on this lesson today. I feel, confident in the spirit to be doing this work with my brother again. Because I ain't going to lie, brother, it's been a rough 2 weeks, man. It's been raw and rough. But, King, the lesson today is called, You Think Esau Will Stop Hanging You? And for those of y'all who don't know who Esau is the so-called white man. You think the white man is going to stop hanging blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? You think so, ma'am? You think he'll stop? You already know the answer. Hell no. If you won't get off your land, if you won't give your kids back from these ICE detention centers, the white man will never stop killing you. Somebody got to say it. But we're going to bring it out in the Bible today to let you know the Bible already told you that the so-called white man doesn't have it in him to be kind, to be giving, to be generous. And see, it's a shame because the Most High God showed us the problem with our people. Our sisters can acknowledge what's going on. Meanwhile, our men walk by going, shit, I don't know what them niggas talking about.
Quiet on down. You gonna get some trouble.
You gonna get us all types of troubles. Don't be talking like that around Massa. He gonna heal you. And then how you supposed to get your job and keep getting a check and afford your housing? Christ told you you're gonna be hated of all men for his sake. Like I said earlier, if you're not trying to serve God, put the Bible down, go live your life, but stop dragging God's name through the damn mud. If you don't want to keep his commandments, that's on you. But stop pinning the shit on God. Stop blaming God for all your problems when God told you how to fix it. But King, can you get me Deuteronomy 21 and 22 through 23? So Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 22 to start. So to be very thorough, we're going to start out with what hanging is according to the Bible. See, and this is why when I was talking to that young brother, one of the things that I said is you cannot just overlook the Old Testament. You have to read it, study it, and be thorough. Because if we understood what hanging really was, we would understand why the white man finds a special, diabolical, and nefarious pleasure in hanging us. Let's look at it. Oh, shit. You need me to come with you? You sure though? Just make sure things don't go out of control? We'll talk about it.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God, that thy land be not defiled, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for inheritance.
So we see what hanging is. It's a method of capital punishment. And it's reserved for those who have been convicted of a crime deserving death. Rape, murder, bestiality, pedophilia, putting hands on your parents. Some of y'all out here literally would be put to death. Right? But for a person who's worthy of death, there's a method in the Bible called hanging. And it even tells you that the body of the person who's hanged is not supposed to be hung on a tree all day and all night. They're supposed to be taken down and buried with dignity, so that you don't curse the land. Well, why is it that the land would be cursed if you just leave somebody hanging in a tree all day? Let's find out. Brother, can you get me Deuteronomy 17 and 5 through 10? Actually, you got 23, didn't you? Verse 23? Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead get that. Now, we're going to see how a verdict for somebody being put to death has to be levied, right? Because here in America, the white man would just show up in mass, he'd take you and hang you. Let's see if that's biblical.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 5. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of one witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for thee to judge, or too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt come unto the priests of the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment, and thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee.
So you see the judicial proceedings that's supposed to occur when somebody is worthy of a death sentence. First, the offense has to be proven to be true. So you need 2 or 3 credible witnesses who can give a first-hand account of having seen the offense done or seeing proof of the offense and the offender. And for those of y'all who really understand what we're saying, now you see why Christ told them, he who sinneth, or he who has not sinned, cast the first stone. Because they were stoning just the woman for adultery. Last time I checked, you can't commit adultery with yourself. Right. So where's the man at? So Christ was saying, hey, look, since y'all ain't going to keep the law anyway, let's go ahead and show mercy. Because how are we going to keep a lopsided version of the law when none of y'all saw her do it? Because obviously if you saw her doing it, you would have apprehended the man that she was sleeping with. Right. So y'all didn't see her do it. You just heard that she did it. And even if she fesses up to it, you don't have any witnesses. Yeah, and you're tale-bearing because y'all are just saying she's guilty just because. Right? But even if you don't have 2 and 3 and there's a lot of obscurity, right? You're supposed to go to the congregation, to the elders, and you give them the account, and then they do what essentially a jury would do. They deliberate on the matter, and then they give a judgment. And then you have to follow that judgment. Where does it say that you could just get a bunch of crackers together, go and just lay hands on somebody and string them up? Oh, and pass out flyers and make it an event for a city and close down for the day while y'all watch a nigga get lynched. Where does it say that? See, I'm glad there's not a lot of people walking by because I know the discomfort is palpable, man. You can hear a damn pin drop when you talk about shit like this. And then people are like, you keeping racism alive. Last time I checked, them hanging niggas is what is keeping racism alive. Yeah, here's the thing. The white man hang females too. But see, we're going to see in the Bible, the white man hang babies from their necks. Literal babies. So if he's willing to hang a baby, your grown ass ain't got a chance. And this is what I was trying to convey to that young brother right there. I don't know if you're an Israelite or not. He seemed to have a zeal for God, just not according to knowledge. But the thing I'm trying to convey to him is your God has standards, and his standards are better than yours. They might make you feel uncomfortable, but it's for a good reason. Trust me. All these people talking about, oh, you shouldn't put pedophiles to death. How's that working out? Whole country is now led by a pedophile and the rest of his pedophilic friends. How is that working out? And it's not to say that the so-called white man didn't know that Donald Trump is a literal rapist. He had to pay a settlement to a 13-year-old that he raped. So it's not like they don't know it. It's just, that's part of what they do. And see, one of the questions I asked him was, point to another nation that does these things, that goes around the earth, rape, robbing, murdering, and pillaging. Couldn't point to nobody. But see, we're supposed to be a Christian believing nation, quote unquote. How many people you got walking around who are bona fide murderers? I don't care if they serve 10 or 20 years in prison. You're supposed to be put to death for that. Life for a life, eye for an eye, foot for foot, tooth for tooth. So if you call yourself worshiping the God of the Bible, you're supposed to do what God told you to do. Now, I said, why is it that somebody hanging on a tree curses the land? Well, the Bible says, cursed be he, or cursed be any man that hangeth on a tree. Can you find that for me real quick? I was looking, I couldn't find it. Yeah, cursed be he that hangeth on a tree. I thought I put it in my lesson, man. I could have swore I did. Right? But then after that, we're going to go to Jeremiah 50 and 6 through 7. Because see, one of the things that often comes up when you're dealing with these heathen is they basically, in a roundabout way, say, you deserve all this oppression. You deserve for us to throw you in prison. You deserve to have your family broken up as we put your father in prison for a non-violent crime. Yeah. Damn. Hold on. I'll find it. Yeah, Galatians 3 and 13. Right? Yes, sir. See, again, that's why there's a procedure to literally everything on the planet. If you give somebody a death sentence, that's not out of the question according to the Bible, because people do things that are worthy of death. Murder, for instance. Everybody knows the adequate punishment for murdering somebody is that the murderer get put to death. Back in those days, you might have got hung from a tree. But let's see what you had to do.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is every one that hangeth on a tree.
So that's why we see in Deuteronomy 17 that you're supposed to bury that person by sundown after they have basically endured their capital punishment. Now, I have a question. For those of y'all who watch those country westerns and they have the hanging scene, when do they hang the people? High noon. Why are they doing that at high noon? Is it because they want to make it as hot as possible for everybody in attendance? Or is it to give the most amount of time to make the necessary arrangements to have that person buried by sundown? See, a lot of times when you're watching these things in these movies and the media, you don't understand why things are happening a certain way. But if you go back in the Bible, you can see a ready explanation. And see, your enemies, right? When I say your enemies, I'm talking to you Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Your enemies are the heathen. And the heathen don't care if you know better or not. As a matter of fact, they're hedging on you not knowing better and keeping it that way. Because if you don't know better, you will do things that afflict yourself with a curse, afflict the land around you with a curse. And then we have the nerve to wonder why in America right now you have 100-degree temperatures over almost all of America during the day. You have floods, tornadoes, earthquakes, and I'm talking about 5 and greater earthquakes happening day in and day out because this land is cursed. Hell, why is it if you work construction in a city, every time you demo a building and look under the foundation, you find mass graves? Well, those hundreds of millions of Native Americans and Native Hispanics had to go somewhere. But see, again, when you talk about stuff like this, people get real skittish. And I'm going to tell you, it's a spiritual thing. Because the Bible says, resist ye the devil and he will flee from you. Most of y'all are deceivers. You're liars. Outright. And you cling to the lies that you've been taught. So when the truth comes your way, it gives you heebie-jeebies. make you uncomfortable. And you know what? Good. If you're not willing to discard a lie in favor of the truth, be gone. And I know that young king earlier was only 18, but he said we're going to both serve God in our own way. There is no own way. You either serve God how he told you to serve him, or you're not serving him. But brother, let's get that Jeremiah 50 and then 6 through 7. Yes, sir. I know, I think this shit's, rebellious, man.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from the mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, we have been not, because they have sinned against the Lord, their habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
So we got two major things we got to cover. From the offset, or onset, of verse 6, it says, my people have been lost sheep. Well, who was Christ sent for? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. So much for anybody could be a lost sheep. But to cover what we read in verse 7, all that found them, all these the predators that find the sheep and exploit them, devour them, right? They say, well, they deserve it. They offended against their God. So if they offended against their God, we can do whatever we want to them. That's why when the white man, you put him on the spot for him lynching, hanging, burning, raping, he goes, well, I mean, y'all deserved it. I mean, how else are we supposed to do that to you? We're not doing that to test anybody. And you know what? In a sense, white man has a point. He isn't doing that to test anybody. He's doing that to the Israelites. But nowhere in the Bible does it say you can rape them. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that you tell them, hey, you're not an Israelite. Give me that Bible. You have this slave Bible with over 80% of it redacted. Bible don't say he can do that. As a matter of fact, give me Zechariah 1. See, this is what they did, right? They furthered the affliction. Start at 15, please.
Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15.
Bring it out.
And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
So the Most High God was angry with his people, cast us off into their hands to be afflicted. But he did not cast us off to be destroyed. And that is exactly what the so-called white man made every effort to do, destroy the Israelites. When he realized he couldn't destroy us physically, he committed himself fully to destroying us spiritually. So much so, when he saw he couldn't completely destroy our drive to serve our God, he said, fuck it, I'll try to open the door so I can come serve. And I'm going to tell you to petition your God to let me in. That's where that everyone can be saved. God loves everybody shit comes from. It comes from God's worst enemy, the Edomites. Don't believe me? Read Psalms 83. It comes from his worst enemy trying to force their way into a promise that was never given to them. And guess what? They're not even the first to do it. Read Ezra 4 where you see the heathen composed of Ammonites, composed of Moabites, Ishmaelites, and Persians or Elamites, all coming to try to serve the God of the Bible only to be turned away by the chief fathers of the Israelites and then fully commit to hindering their work and restoring Jerusalem. See, we have to bring these things out because this is the material in the Bible that your pastor will never read. He won't read it. Believe in the Bible, King? I know you heard what I was saying. I know it's a little hot over here. But are we lying, though?
But it's a blissful thing.
Thank you. See, the thing is, I know what we saying is taboo. But guess what? Christ told you that no greater love hath a man than this, that he be willing to lay down his life for his friends. We're willing to lay down our lives so our people will wake up and stop cooning.
Right.
Stop trying to be at ease with your enemy who is at war with you. Give me Jeremiah 48:10 real quick. Oldie but a goodie, because this is something that all the men of Israel need to hear. If you are black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and you happen to be male, you need to listen up. Because if you call yourself serving God, but yet you're too scared to stand up to your oppressor, God ain't got no room for you in his army.
Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 10. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood.
So those of y'all talking about I'm gonna serve God my own way, you gonna secretly serve God, meanwhile you a coward. Cursed be he who doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he who keepeth back his sword from blood. So when it's time to go to war on behalf of God, and you talking about, well, hold on now, my Jesus don't want to hurt nobody. Give me Luke 19:27 real quick. See, you coons and cowards, y'all gonna get put to death. Straight up. See, we're coming into the days where you're gonna have to choose. You gonna serve God or you gonna serve your oppressor? Choose one. Because if you read Revelation 3, Christ himself tells you he'd rather you be hot or cold. But if you lukewarm, he gonna spit you out of his mouth. Go ahead and get it.
Luke chapter 19, verse 27.
Bring it out.
But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
Those are the words of Christ. So what happened to Christ loving everybody again? Christ said, those mine enemies that would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. That's why it's so important to understand these scriptures according to how they're written. How you doing, King? Be safe out here, man. And if you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, just know you are a king. You're an Israelite. Keep God's commandments. And God's ear is near unto those that are lowly. Aim to serve God and repent and cry out in prayer. And the Most High God will make things move around.
Right.
See, again, I have to say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. If we weren't out here to tell our people these things, who would tell you? So I'm going to tell you, the people who are lynching you, hanging you right now, the white man is not going to tell you. Ain't that right? See, and he old enough to know. He probably old enough to have attended a lynching. See, again, most of y'all don't keep your ear to the ground on these issues. Look up a woman named Antoinette Harold, or Antoinette Harold, however the fuck you want to pronounce it. She was interviewing black men and women from the Deep South as late as the 1960s and 70s, and they said they never knew slavery was even abolished. They were born and died on the plantation they were born on in servitude. And if they tried to leave the plantation, they would be lynched. Antoinette Harold. Look her up. See, again, when the Messiah returns, you saying, well, I didn't know, Lord. You're going to be like, okay, well, you didn't make an effort to find out? I sent my prophets to the streets. You heard them talking greasy to you. You heard them trying to get your attention, trying to bring you to focus on this Bible for just a good minute or two. Yeah, and it shows your lack of care and your lack of courage. Most of y'all don't realize, when it comes test day, real test day, judgment day, ain't no excuses. Absolutely none. Most High God has sent men at the peril of their own lives to tell you what's going on in his book, to tell you how to keep the commandments, how to best serve God according to knowledge from the scriptures. The Most High God sent the prophets. And y'all are doing what you've always done, turning your back and your shoulder to the prophets. Don't worry about it. Most High God gonna deal with it. He gonna kill your ass. Give me Jeremiah 44:4. See, I didn't get to come out here last Saturday, so I got a lot of pent-up energy, right? But I'm going to use that energy to further instruct my people. Because we are in the very last moments of this kingdom. And see, it's a shame. You got people who are barely eking by relying on God's mercy, turning their back to the prophets. How you think that's going to work out? Probably not well. Go ahead and get it.
Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 4. Howbeit, I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, Oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no more incense unto other gods. Wherefore my fury and my anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they are wasted and desolate, and as at this day.
So it's not the first time our people turn their back on God. That's the reason why your ass keep going in slavery over and over and over again. And it's the reason why our Hispanic brothers are in these ICE detention centers. It's the same reason why our black brothers and sisters are being found hanging from trees. You will not return to your God. So the Most High God is sending agents to destroy you. Give me a cruel messenger in Proverbs. I get it enough, don't I? It might be 17. I don't know. But see, the Most High God has already made it readily apparent through his servants. Right? If you harden your neck against the Most High God and don't keep his commandments as an Israelite, he will send a cruel messenger to get your attention. That cruel messenger might put his knee on your neck. He might put a few bullets in you. Hey, he might even throw some drugs in your car and get you sent to the clink. See, it was an Edomite, a Temanite in the book of Job, but he said it eloquently. Right? Where have you seen the righteous cut off? Whoever perished being innocent? See, we have to say these things rhetorically from the Bible because our people never stop and think. The people that you see being put to death and you think they're innocent, Most High God says different. That's why they're getting killed. Go ahead and get it.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 11.
Bring it out.
An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore, a cruel messenger shall be sent against him.
It's like I said, you want to keep rebelling against God? Don't worry about it. He's going to take care of it. See, in the days to come, if you don't know what's going on in this Bible, you're in trouble. Because the book of Isaiah lets you know wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. You're going to be awfully unstable if you don't know which God to run to when there's no food. When this gas shortage finally comes here, you're going to be falling in traps. Government might say, hey, we got some free food over here. Knowing that the only food they got is lab-grown meat, cricket flour, defiled food, when the Most High God said not to eat those things. Yeah, you're going to be hearing about stuff like that. Yeah, you can eat all this crab and shrimp as much as you can eat. And some of y'all going to be foolish enough to go, shit, I ain't starving, I'm going. Where if you read the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and 7, you had an old man, an elder in our community, and a mother and her 7 sons get put to death because they refused to eat pork. They were willing to endure the most egregious tortures and afflictions, all to keep the laws of God and not eat pork. Our elder, the man, he died not even wanting to put on the imagery of eating pork. But see, in the days to come, you're going to have to choose. You got time for the Bible, King? All right, man.
One by one, they watch their brothers get tortured the way they put to death. Still,
Yeah. Like, man, if you read that account in second Maccabees chapter 7, that woman had to watch all 7 of her sons get put to death one by one. And the white man did like you do it today. Cut your fingers off, cut your tongue out, scalp you, cut the skin off your body, throw you in a hot pan, and then he asks you the whole time how it feels. You ready to give up? You ready to tell God you don't believe in him? You ain't got to believe me. We can read it to you. If you got time, come up here. See, again, I say it all the time. These are the things that your pastor should be reading to you. But see, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you'll file into these churches every Sunday and not require your pastor to teach you anything. But see, that's why in Jeremiah 23 it says, woe unto the pastors that destroy and scatter my sheep. Thank you, Elder. If you Native Hispanic, just know you a king. You an Israelite. Keep the commandments. Again, if the Most High God didn't send men like us out here, who would tell you? Whether it be us, the brothers down the way in purple and gold, the brothers down the way in all black, brothers scattered throughout the city. You got one brother from Sons of Thunder and another brother, actually two brothers from Sons of Thunder now, right? They don't linked up. But you got these brothers from all over the world, all these Israelites, who throw aside their personal desires every week to come and instruct God's people on how to properly serve it. And just in case y'all don't know, the white man don't like it too much, so we get a lot of friction. But guess what? That's too damn bad. We gonna keep doing it. Because for every one of us you cut down, the Most High God cutting down 1,000 of you. See, that's why I rejoice every time I see your cities burning down. Every time a damn tornado, that tornado that went through Wisconsin. Can you look up that tornado that went through Wisconsin? I forget what that city is called. It's a Native American name. Yeah, oh yeah, about a week ago. About an EF3 went through the heart of the city. See, and it's, for those of y'all going, I ain't heard about that. You should be questioning why. No. There it is, Menasha. There it is. Yeah, if you can read that.
Just the name of it or the whole thing?
The whole thing, the whole.
The EF3 tornado that struck the Appleton and Menasha, Wisconsin area on July 27, 2026 reached a maximum width of 1,500 to 1,800 yards, which is about 1.2 miles wide, at its widest point near Highway 441 with peak winds of 140 miles per hour and a 12.1 mile path length.
So let me get this straight. Your news today is not talking about a tornado that hit no more than 2 weeks ago and was an EF3 over 1.5 miles wide, and it hit a city in Wisconsin. Why aren't you hearing about that? And that tornado killed people, by the way. It destroyed entire communities. But yet, you're not hearing about it. You know why? Because your enemies are under judgment. Why would they admit that they're under judgment? That your God is fighting for you? Give me Isaiah 29, start with 5. We stepping off the lesson a little bit, but the Spirit is taking us somewhere else. And that's all right with me. And read down to 7.
Isaiah chapter 29. Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. At ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices.
So Ariel is another name for Israel, and it means lion of God. Right? We have a brother in the truth named Ariala. Right? And again, that goes to show you the distaste and absolute disrespect that the white man has for our God. Because they made the name Ariel, you immediately think of a red-headed white girl. When that is literally the name that means lion of God. Again, that's why I keep saying it. Put some respect on our God's name. But don't worry if you don't want to do it. He'll make you do it. Keep going.
Verse 2. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel, and I will camp against.
Hold on, we got to cover that. So when it says, yet I will distress Ariel, that means the Most High God is going to put us in a position where we are in a basically a status of distress. But notice it says that there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. So the Most High God said, the same way I'm afflicting them, I feel it too. It's like a parent having to discipline their child. It hurts me just as much, if not more, than it hurts you. And as I get older, I realize it must hurt the parent more. To hit something that you know you would willingly give your life up for. To see them afflicted, knowing that you want nothing but good things for them. That's what God is saying here about Israel. And he says it again in Zechariah 2:7-9. He that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of my eye. That's why I keep saying it. Don't just skim the Bible, read it. And understand what's being spoken. The Most High God is saying, the things that happen to my people, it happens to me. I feel what they feel. I go through what they go through. And then you understand why Paul said, your bodies are temples that God dwells in. Keep going.
Just stop at 5. Stop at 7.
Verse 3, and I will camp against thee round about, and I will lay siege against thee with the mount, and I will raise forts against thee. And thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as of one that hath familiar spirit out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust.
So the Most High God said he's going to beset you on all sides by so many enemies that are so fierce that they are going to take everything from you and leave you in such a lowly state that it's like you crying out of the ground. What does it say about the gates of Judah? Their gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Right.
In other words, the nation of Judah has been made a lowly nation, last among the nations. Again, don't skim the Bible, read it.
Verse 5, moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
So we see in the scriptures that the way the Most High God visits a nation is with storms and tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, devouring fire. Well, what happens to be the main things plaguing America right now? Storms, earthquakes, tornadoes, devouring fire, all of the above. So what happened to God loves everybody again? I'm confused on that. When and where? Where does it say God loves the heathen in the Bible? And where does it say that God was going to give the heathen a pass for enslaving his children? If somebody can show me where that's in the Bible, I will willingly pay them $1,000. Literally.
It's okay. You only did what you had.
Yeah, well, where's God giving y'all a pass saying, hey, you only did what you had to do? Because last time I checked, nowhere in the Bible did God give anybody permission to rape or feed babies to alligators. Most High God never gave anybody permission to do that. And see, I don't know if you're checking on social media now, King, but now you got all these people, they're horrified at the acts that the white man did to us. They're just finding out that they were eating us, that they were feeding our bodies to alligators, our babies, not our bodies, right? Our babies to alligators. That they were making leather out of our skin, filling their couches and upholstery with our hair. They're horrified at how they treated us. But yet, we've been saying it all the time. It's just now that it's finally hit the mainstream, people are like, wait a minute, something's got to be done about this.
I just had to talk with the Puerto Rican brother. He didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, I just had to talk with a Puerto Rican brother that he didn't know anything about that they're eating us and making furniture out of us, our skin, clothes, shoes. And I told him to look up the book, Delectable Negro.
Yep.
And they'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, for those of y'all who didn't catch that, Delectable Negro by the author Vincent Woodard. It talks about the homoerotic and cannibalistic relationship between slave master and slave. The white man was literally pimping us out and eating us. And I know some of y'all go, well, why do those things go together? I don't know. Ask him. See, and I always find it funny when we say these things, people want to come to us and go, well, why did that happen? Well, ask them. They're the ones who are still doing it. Most of y'all don't even know on the internet right now, there are cannibal communities where you can go to a forum and talk to other human cannibals. But see, the thing is, most of you are not trying to learn what world you really live in. You want to believe that what you learned watching Dragon Ball Z was real. You want to think that somebody as just as Goku exists. And then it's ironic that all this material coming out of Japan, it venerates white people. Can you look up that word venerate for me? It highly esteems or honors them when they are the worst humans on the planet. And when you say human, that's stretching the definition because hue means color. When you say human, that is a prefix. The only people without color are the worst on the planet. Oh, the irony.
To venerate means to feel or show deep respect, honor, or reverence for a person, place, or thing.
So I have to question, why are all these nations venerating the so-called white man when all he did when he showed up was rape, rob, and kill? But it's because the earth has been given over into the hand of the wicked. And he covered the faces of the judges thereof, as it says in the book of Job. See, that's why we have to say these things, because unfortunately, none of this stuff is being taught. And as a result, the most depraved people on the planet get to walk around with their head held high and a sense of high esteem, when really they should be ashamed of themselves. I would be ashamed to be born in a land where I know my forefathers had to rape and murder to be. If I had a scintilla, yeah, can you look up that word scintilla? With a C, yes sir. If I had a scintilla of ethics and morals and principles, I would leave that land immediately. I might not be able to change the hearts of my entire body of people, but I can at least stop contributing to the oppression and leave. That's why I don't care about all this. Oh, I have my white spouse is a good one. They're invited to the cookout. They're nice and they love niggers. Nope. If they loved you, you should never see them. They shouldn't be here. And they damn sure should be talking about they serve God. Meanwhile, they're primary beneficiaries of slavery. Go ahead and get it.
I gotta try to do something else.
Now I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, with the S. Sorry. Look, man. Sorry, bro.
Scintilla is a noun that means a tiny trace, spark, or very small amount of something.
So a very minute trace of something. If you had the least amount of morals as a son or daughter of the oppressor, you would leave America. And you wouldn't just leave America, you'd go all the way back to your homeland, the Caucasus Mountains. Because that's where you belong. Hell, you can go back to modern day Jordan. That's the land of Edom. God gave you that land. But see, you can't go back to Europe because that's not your land. You stole that. Can't go back to Greece. The Minoans and the Etruscans, brown-skinned, darkly melanated peoples who were originally there, who were spoiled by Alexander the Great. You'll notice everywhere the white man conquers, he turns around and calls himself that nation. So if he spoils America, he becomes a Native American. If he spoils Greenland, he becomes a native Greenlander. Most of y'all don't even know. The majority of people in Greenland are the Inuit people, who you call Eskimos. But because the white man won't pan the camera around and show you all the black and brown people over there, you don't think they're there. That's why we're here to tell you. Wherever the white man sets his foot, it's the same cycle over and over again. Rape, rob, and replace. And notice he can't kill all you because he needs slaves. So that's where he starts his campaign to have you discontinue from your heritage, and he's the one who picks up your heritage. But let's get back on this lesson, King.
You all gotta learn what the heritage is first.
Hey, man, that's a good point. It's the same reason like he used the Moors up until 1619, because he had to learn how to navigate the oceans. He had to learn how to steal all their ways.
By living within a mile. Yeah.
Get out, sister.
Grocery store, all that.
See, again, how many of our people got to get lynched, raped, murdered, all that? You saw that video of them 3 white girls jumping on that black girl? You think they don't do that to Hispanic women? You kidding yourself. Yep, take your ass up the road. Take a bath. Yeah, you from St. Louis. Yeah, a place where your ancestors raped and robbed. You ain't from no damn St. Louis. You from the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, what does that mean? I mean, again, and it shows you, they'll try to take what you say and try to use it against you. Because that's what black folks say. I'm from St. Louis. I'm from Memphis. At least we got the excuse of being the sons of and daughters of slaves. We don't know any better. We literally don't know any better. But her people, they know way better. You don't claim the damn place that your people raped and robbed and spoiled as your homeland. Madness. I'm gonna tell you, sister, try getting in shape and watch how she treats you. See, you shaking your head. I know I'm not lying. I know I'm not lying. Be the best version of yourself, sister. You a princess. You're an Israelite. I know you out of your mind. I don't give a damn. You an Israelite. Put down them damn crabs and carnitas and get off your ass and serve God. See, you laughing, but she know that's who she is and her people are. Because she can't tell you one land that her people pulled up on where peace broke out. Not one. And if you so from St. Louis, you sure the fuck didn't do nothing. I guess niggas from St. Louis don't say too much. Nah, that's Mississippi. But you know what? Claiming to be from the city don't mean nothing if you're the oppressor. Like, I'm trying to figure out how that shit works. So you break into somebody's house and now you native to their house? Madness. And again, our sisters, and this is straight up, and it's not new. This is biblical. Our sisters have always gone where power is. When you look at Herod in the Bible, most people don't realize the reason why Herod and his dynasty were put in Judea as the tetrarchs there, the kings of Judea. Herod was a so-called Edomite, a white man, but he had an Israelite, or a Judite mother. They were purposely marrying into the Maccabean families. And you can see that at the end of 2nd Maccabees. You can literally see an Edomite parlaying and being given a daughter from the Maccabees, marrying into the family. And our stupid asses letting them sit next to us, letting them hold authority with us, and eventually they took it over. And if the white man had it his way, Christ would have died in the womb. That red dragon that was trying to devour the Messiah before he was born, because they were going to kill Mary and Joseph. That's why they had to flee to Egypt the moment Yahushua was born. See, again, it's funny, man. Everybody say we filled with hate, but we're trying to tell our people to get away from the people who are murdering us. And our people are so stupid, they sit there and defend the people murdering them. But you can't say they all bad. She ain't doing nothing to stop it. If you with somebody who's stealing and you know they stealing, and you don't even participate, but you don't tell on them, don't you get charged with accessory? Sure do. What if you're a primary beneficiary of slavery, of land theft? Even if you don't agree with it, you ain't leaving. So you're an accessory. I'm not trying to hear that, I got a good one right here. No, you don't.
If you know some people about to do something bad that your so-called friend and you don't say shit and you let it happen.
Yeah,
You're
but,
a part of it.
shit, the Bible says if you know wrongdoing is going on, you don't say nothing, you just as culpable. You part of it. And you get the same penalty they get. So if you know somebody about to spin the block on somebody and shoot them, and you don't say shit, and somebody gets shot, not only are they supposed to get put to death, you're supposed to get put to death too. If you know you got a friend who commit adultery day in, day out, week in, week out, and you ain't saying nothing to nobody, especially if you know the man who woman he cheating with, and you smiling at that nigga face going, yeah, man, we best friends. I got a friend, he used to be my best friend, named Alex. And my friend Alex was being put up in an apartment with his friend and his girlfriend, or his wife. Free of charge, helping him out. And he slept with that man's wife. And then he called me talking about, man, you don't understand, man, she bad, bro. I can never get a girl like her. I cussed him out. This was before I got in the truth. I was like, yo, you ain't shit, man. Because if you didn't do it to him, you would have done it to me. The only reason why I didn't put you up to help you get on your feet is because we don't live in the same state. So you would have done to me what you did to your best friend. Don't call me trying to get comfort. Trying to massage your guilt. Nah, you guilty. You deserve that.
Yeah, man. Fuck that bitch
Now, you fast forward to the present, got schizophrenia, rampant health issues, life is just on the skids, man. But whoever perished being innocent. See, just because people might not know what's really going on don't mean God didn't see it. The Most High God's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He beholds all the works of men. See, and I understand this word, the zeal that it comes out with. I know a lot of y'all like, I ain't gonna talk to them brothers. They sound angry. But the Bible says oppression maketh a wise man mad. That's why most of y'all are not mad at all, because you don't know very well. You don't study at all. You don't read. You ain't even familiar with the news. Some of y'all don't even look at the Weather Channel. Damn, storms rolling in can kill you and your family. You ain't even aware of what's coming in. Just completely out the loop. Yeah, and the thing is, the Most High God put the window to information right in your pocket, the phone. And if you look at all the accomplishments that Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians had to make in order for you to have a cell phone, most of y'all don't know who Jesse Russell is, the father of 2G communications and the father of the cell phone. Most of y'all don't know who these people are. But see, the thing is, Most High God, He don't require you to know everything. He requires you just to have a zeal to follow His commandments. And most of y'all are lacking in that passion. And as a result, you don't look into anything. You fall for everything. But King, can you get me, let's go back to First Maccabees. We ain't quite done. Yeah, First Maccabees. Get down to 7. You stepped off that.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 7. And the multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, even all that fight against her, and her munition, and that distress her, shall be as a dream of a night vision.
So the Most High God is saying all those that fight against His children are going to be as nothing. Y'all believe in the Bible? Yeah? So who are the people fighting against God's children? It's your people. White people. Y'all going into slavery for it. And y'all the only people going to get put to death and burned out of existence. See, again, that's why I asked that question. It's in the spirit that they came up. I know. That's your God. Hey, that's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. She don't understand. The children of Satan. They said it, not me. They expect us to go, hey, that's not right. No, that's your God. Yeah, I've never heard the white man tell the truth like that. White man said, hail Satan. That's appropriate. If I had to think of the children of Satan, a big old face of white people will come up. Brother, you know I'm not lying.
No, you're not.
Where you from, King, before you go? Where you from?
Tennessee.
You ain't from no Tennessee with that accent, King. I'm from Memphis. Man. You Benjamin. See, Banyamian. I knew you ain't no damn from no Tennessee. You still our brother, though. Keep the commandments. The way the white man oppresses here in America, you should see what they did to our brothers down in Jamaica. Thomas Thistlewood, one of the most cruel slave masters that ever lived. Look up the Derby dose when you get home. If you were caught eating a piece of sugar cane out the field, he would lacerate your body, drench you in salt and pickle juice, and then he'd have another slave defecate in your mouth and seal it shut. Thomas Thistlewood. Now I'm going to tell you, niggas from Memphis, we know niggas from Memphis. You ain't going to come over here and be like, I'm from Memphis. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Plus, if you're from Memphis, you're going to talk some shit before you leave, because that's who niggas from Memphis are. I was just trying to place it. Look. I find it crazy how our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean are so hyper competitive with the other islands. To the point where you got niggas on the same island beefing with each other. Trinidad and Haiti. They occupy the same island talking about we different people. Trinidadians somehow I know black. Blacker than me. But it makes perfect sense if you can look at it through the lens of the Bible. Because Levi and Simeon have anger between each other. That's a curse that was put on them. Because they avenged the honor of their sister, Dinah. Yeah, heathens rape their sisters, so they wouldn't put an end to them damn heathens. Now it's argued that they ain't rape her, you know what I'm saying? It's just they was like, yo, we ain't having that. Our sister's not marrying a damn heathen. That's crazy. But I mean, they didn't understand your sister ain't got nobody else. Y'all the only Israelites on the planet right now. So unless you gonna have a couple of children and she gonna have some great cousins or whatever to marry, she gotta wait like 30 years. And the flower of her youth gonna be gone. So I don't know. But see, that's why I be trying to tell people, man, you ain't supposed to be ignorant of any matter, great or small. It don't mean you gotta know everything. But you need to know enough so that you can stand tall against your enemy who's gonna lie in your face. You have to put on the full armor of God that you can quench the fiery darts of the devil, as it says in Ephesians 6. But most of you niggas out here in your damn skivvies. For those of y'all who ain't military, out here in your drawers. Talking about you a warrior for Christ. Ain't got no armor on, ain't got no sword, no knowledge. Out here fucking naked. Shit, since y'all ain't trying to come up, we gonna have fun with it today. Because again, who said that you can't have fun while you serve God? That's why most of y'all, after you leave the church, you like, man, the hell with the Bible. That Ned Flanders shit, I can't do nothing. Pastor telling you you can't have premarital sex. Well, when are you supposed to have it? As a matter of fact, here in America, if you get married to somebody you don't have sex, you can't get a divorce. You have to get an annulment. Because you have to consummate the marriage. Consummate the union. Again, you don't have to know everything. You got to know a little bit about a lot. Most High God demands it of you. And what you don't know, He'll fill in the blanks. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I watch my videos, and sometimes I'm like, shit, I don't even know that. I have to look the shit up. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. Most High God filled in the blank for me. All praise. Okay, let's go back to 1 Maccabees 54 through 64. So what we read in Isaiah 29 and 7, it said that all that fight against Ariel, all that fight against Israel, are going to be like a dream. When you wake up, after you had a dream, you have to write it down quick because it starts to evaporate. 1 Maccabees 1 and 54 through 64. You have to write that dream down quick because it starts to just vanish, fade from your memory. That's what these heathen are going to be like in the kingdom of the Messiah, the kingdom of Christ. You won't have to go to a museum to learn how evil the white man is, or was, just to know, well, damn, somebody existed that literally raped children like that? You mean to tell me that he was so evil he poisoned his own food? He poisoned the air that he had to breathe just to get to you? And we're going to be like, yeah, son. If we part of the elect, we're going to be like, yeah. And we have to work with the motherfuckers every day. So he just told you to get over slavery, huh, Dad? I said, yeah, son. That's what they did. Yeah, can you believe it? And here's the thing. In the kingdom, they're not going to be able to believe it. It's going to be a matter of that's impossible. Who can live like that? And that's going to be to God's greater glory because the Most High God held us up with His right hand, His hand of righteousness, despite all the slavery, despite all the lynching and the burning and the hanging. Yeah, we're going to have to make that a damn meme or something, the Caucasian, where you just have unabashed, intent to do what you want to do. Penalties be damned. The Caucasian. Who would genetically modify their food to kill one bug, but then it becomes poisonous to everything that eats it? The Caucasian. Who would spray aluminum particulate in the air knowing it's a neurotoxin to everything that lives? The Caucasian. Hey, who would violate the INMOD treaties? Those of y'all who don't know about environmental modification. Project Storm Fury and Project Popeye. Look them up. You ain't got to believe me. Put your phone to good use. Who would violate the laws of nature just to make Earth a little bit more comfortable for them? The Caucasian. Give me Isaiah 14:21. Because see, in their mind, they're like, well, I'm just here. I didn't do it. So that's why the Bible says, since you're the son of the slave master, you got to pay your daddy tag. Yeah, I know your grandpappy liked to rape. He loved to molest children, molest dogs. But guess what? You got to pay the tag.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So the Bible says they got to pay. Ain't know what happened a long time ago. Ain't know, oh, that was my great-great-great-grandfather. God said, yeah, and your ass gonna pay for it. And see, and to the blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians try to make peace with your oppressor, can you at least make them pay you back first? I mean, damn, like y'all trying to forgive people who ain't asking to be forgiven, and you accepting absolutely nothing in place of building an empire for over 400 years. Can somebody tell me where that makes sense at? And then y'all want to learn to live at peace with the people that you ain't even allowed to raise your kids around. You got to send your kids to their school to learn about they founding fathers.
About the white man that traveled to Colombia, break the kids on the balcony and stuff, had like maybe one on the balcony.
Pull
like,
that up. Pull that
right
up.
in the open, and then he had like 2 or 3 more that he already had raped.
Damn, pull that up.
Seeing them and they had
God damn. And see, now it's starting to come out about all the organ harvesting, organ trafficking. See, they've been doing this stuff in broad daylight. It's just you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you just been off in La La Land watching them do this shit. You've been thinking, well, as long as it don't affect my house, I'm good. Not understanding it does affect your house. If it affects your people, even if it's a cousin, even if it's somebody that you don't know that's related to you, it still affects your house. That's why we have to tell our people, right? You are an Israelite. You belong to a family. You are not supposed to be standing in the blood of your people. And that's as Leviticus 19 and 16. You're not supposed to stand in the blood of your brother. If you see your brother about to get the business from these heathen for an unjust reason, you're supposed to intervene, even if it costs you your health. But see, that's exactly why, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you have been subjected to the weakest people on the planet. You refuse to stand united. When the Bible demands it, you are God's people.
now they're saying that he didn't do it.
Oh, no, read that. Yeah, because it's in Colombia, right? Yeah, we read it.
Colombian authorities have released a U.S. citizen without charges after he was arrested on Sunday on allegations of sexually abusing a child in Bogota. An official report from the prosecutors officially determined there had been no sexual abuse and physical violence, and no evidence of indicating criminal conduct, according to the Colombian News.
Now, I'm going to tell you, this is a so-called white man in Colombia. He's a 36-year-old man from Texas. He was caught abusing a 7-year-old in broad daylight on a balcony. So you mean to tell me they levied false charges while they saw this man doing this? Or is it the same formula as here in America where the white man rapes it to his heart's desire and then he gets right out of jail?
3 children were found by authorities when they entered the suspect's
Yeah,
apartment.
3 children were found by authorities when they entered the suspect's apartment and were taken to a medical center to be evaluated. So what is this white man from Texas doing in Colombia with 3 children that are Colombian and not his? See, again, that's why when it comes to the wickedness that has pervaded the earth, you have to understand that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. See, that's why we try to tell our people, there's no point in trying to build a bridge to your enemy who has done nothing but enslave you. See, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, y'all are the Israelites, but you're scattered everywhere. You Southern Italians, a lot of y'all are Israelites. See, I say that, just throwing a stone out there, hit dog holler. See certain phenotypical, phenotypes, certain traits, characteristics. So I throw out a line or a lure, see if it hits. But see, you're scattered everywhere. So I'm only saying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because that's predominantly the majority of Israelites here, and that's what you know yourself to be called. Because when you come up here, we're going to tell you who you really are, right? We're going to tell you that you're from the tribe of Judah, tribe of Benjamin, tribe of Issachar, Zebulun, Simeon, Gad. See, again, we have to let our people know you're an Israelite. You belong to a greater family. You have an obligation to serve your people. You also have an obligation to separate yourself from your enemy. Go to Sirach 6 for me. See, my question is, how are we supposed to be independent as a people if the first line of business every time we try to stand up and be independent is to bring the white man along? I'm trying to figure it out. So you want to bring the primary offender of why we don't get along in the first place. You want to bring him into every facet of your dynamics when it comes to interrelations. Blacks, Hispanics, and Indians, you want to know why there's enmity between the man and the woman? Because you won't get rid of the things that the white man taught you about having a family. Sisters, you want to know why you think most of your men ain't shit? Because you're comparing them to the worst rapist on the planet who done stole your heritage and all of your wealth. Brothers, the reason why you expect your woman to be a freak in the sheets, but only for you, is because you trying to get a woman that's just like the white woman, who's willing to do any old decrepit thing. See, most of y'all don't understand. We're trying to impose the white man's principles and characteristics on ourselves and then wondering why the shit don't work. But go ahead and get it.
6. Yeah. Separate thyself from thy enemies.
That was
13.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 13. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends.
Yeah, you get that one next, actually. Yeah. So we're supposed to be separating ourselves from our enemies. Those that have distinguished themselves as enemies for literally centuries. See, that's why blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you've made every effort to humanize your oppressor, and it has not worked. He's still lynching you. And as a matter of fact, as America falls more and more on her back, week in and week out, he blames you for her decline. And notice they're doing the same thing in the UK. They're blaming all those immigrants from North Africa. Meanwhile, if it weren't for those very same immigrants, most of their jobs would go unfilled. It's a worldwide phenomenon. The so-called white man is blaming all of his slaves for his problems. But see, if y'all are trying to make him a friend, at least do this first.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Read that next verse.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
So some people are only professing to be your friend for gain for themselves.
problems. Oh, shit, gotta go.
As soon as there's a problem, no, that's not me, I didn't do it. Well, what do you mean you guys are still suffering the ramifications of slavery? That's not my fault. What, you want me to give you all the stuff that I stole? Well, then what will I have?
Here for the party, not the problem.
Yeah, hey, that's a worldly proverb, but it's true. The white man says, I'm here for the party, not the problems. It is what it is. See, and again, that's why when they walk up and down stolen land, smiling, having a good old time, you need to understand it costs $250 million for you to do that. And I know y'all saying, there's not that many of you. You killed most of the Native Americans here in America, Canada, Central America, and South America. See, again, that's why the Bible says, blood defileth the land, but the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. You Native Hispanic, Kenny? You Mexican? On your father's side?
My mom and my dad.
Okay, you from the tribe of Issachar. You're an Israelite. You're a king. Before you go, give me 1 Peter 2:9 in the ESV. I want you to hear this, because I know people say, y'all are racist. Well, most of y'all never read the Bible. The Bible's racist. Most High God said he chose a specific people. He didn't choose everybody. Brother, you have a favorite pair of shoes at home, don't you? You sure do. You think those other shoes feel a certain way? Like, man, he shouldn't be choosing them shoes over us. But even if they do, does it matter if they feel a certain way about it? Are you going to now choose everybody? Or are you going to choose your favorite pair of shoes?
I guess it depends. I mean,
I'm going to tell you how it is. You're going to do what you want to do, King, because those are your shoes. Check this out.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 in the ESV. But you are a chosen race.
You are what?
But you are a chosen race.
God's not racist.
But you are a chosen race.
Finish it out.
A royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
So I think that answered that gentleman's question. Because we were saying the Bible's racist, and then he came over here, and then we read that, and now he's going away. Again, it's not hatred, brother. You a king, all right?
I appreciate you.
Of course, man. Keep the commandments. Did you have a question, sir? You have a question? Are you Italian by chance? Where are you from? I'm sorry? California? How about your forefathers on your father's side? Portuguese? Ooh. Now, what time did they get to Portugal? Because the Moors didn't get expelled from Portugal until the 1619. 1619 was the final expulsion of the Moors from the Iberian Peninsula. Yeah, 1619. So if you were so-called Portuguese or Spanish before that time, there's a chance that though you might look a certain way now, you might go back to our people.
What are your people?
The Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Oh, the Israelites.
I have a question. So,
Aren't you guys
okay,
usually down in the other area?
we're everywhere.
I saw you down there before.
Yeah, we've been down there. Yeah, I know you probably remember me because I have a certain style of preaching.
I think so,
Yeah. But, yeah, we're everywhere.
Is it a nation thing, like a national thing?
No, because if I say I went to China and I had a kid in China, you would call that kid Chinese by way of his nation.
Yeah.
But by way of his bloodline and ethnicity, he's whatever I am.
So how do you guys feel about the Jews that run this country and the world?
Give me Revelation 2 and 9. I'll answer with the Bible.
But they wrote that,
Well, they didn't.
no?
No, when you hear this, you'll see why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So if they're not the real Jews, they didn't write the Bible. They stole it. And we already know who they are. The people over in Israel today came from Poland
Yeah.
and Lithuania.
What was Jesus? Was he Jewish?
Well, he was a Jew from Judah. That's why when you read in Revelations 1 and 14,
He was a Jew.
he was a Jew. But the real Jews are us. Are you familiar with a map maker from the 1500s? His name is Livio Sanudo. Where the Democratic Republic of Congo is today, they called it the land of the Jews. Another map called the Negro Land map by Emmanuel Bowen, where Ghana and Togo are today, they called it the Kingdom of Judah, Ouida, Fida, Wida, depending on who was taking the slaves. So you have French, Portuguese, English, etc., right?
And who financed that?
The fake Jew. Oh, we know. The fake Jew did. Oh, yeah. And see, and that's why I say, although you might proclaim to be Portuguese, you're likely, you could be something, I don't want to say you're likely. You could be something else.
Maybe.
Give me 2nd Ezra 3 and 36. Check this out. Because do you believe it's important to keep the commandments of the Bible?
No offense, I don't.
You don't believe in it?
No.
Okay, I can understand it.
This is from them.
Okay, well, now you know it's not. Because my...
Here's the thing. Here's the problem.
Uh-huh.
It says that they are the chosen people, right?
Well, the real Jews are.
Yeah. Let's say they're not the real ones. They
They're not.
claim they are. The Jews that run this country and the world. Like Netanyahu and all those ones. The problem is, you have these conservative white people here that go die for these people because they believe that they're the chosen people of that book. And that's their book.
Can I help you out a little bit?
That's a big problem.
It is a problem, but here's the thing. The people over in Israel today are who you would call Amalek. Amalek is the top house of Edom. So the average white man here doesn't know that he's from the nation of Esau. So you're going to follow the lead of your lead tribe, whether you want to or not. Because when you look at conservative, racist white people here, who do they hate alongside black people? Jews.
Nah.
They say they do. As a matter of fact, not only do they say they do, they say...
They're supporters of them.
But that's my point.
That's the problem.
But that's my point. They profess to hate them while they support them. Well, yeah.
I wish they would hate them and so they wouldn't die for them in all their wars and back all this shit that they do.
But that
That's
would
the
be
problem.
that would be like if your name was Michael, right? I said, I hate you, Michael. I hate you so much. But I'm dropping off groceries at your house every day because they give $5 billion every year to Israel.
It's more than that, but
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Technically, yeah.
But imagine I'm dropping off groceries to your house every day. I'm filling the tank up in your car. I'm waxing it every day. And every time you see me, I go, ooh, I hate you so much. And I get back to spit shining your shit. Do I really hate you, Michael?
slave.
Well, even if I'm a slave, if I say I hate you, but I'm serving you with a smile on my face, I don't hate you that much. And that's exactly what we're saying. I'm not saying that, oh, the people here in America don't say they hate those people while they don't hate them. As a matter of fact, that's the problem, right? But at the same time, though, the world is under the auspice that they are the Jews for real, and they're not. They don't even follow the Torah. They follow the Talmud, which says a child under the age of 9 you can basically have sex with that child with no penalty.
Oh, I know.
So you know exactly what I'm talking
Talmud,
about.
yeah.
It's a horrible book.
It's not good.
The halakha is just as bad. Right?
What?
The halakha, it's another book that they believe in.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Yeah, it's I skim it, I don't read it, because it'll poison your spirit.
This guy looks more Arab. You look more Arab.
That's because of the headdress, man. Come on, bro.
The features.
Well, what?
I can say that anywhere.
So my question is, so if you take a so-called black man and he has children with a Mexican woman, what are they supposed to look like?
You know, hey, I want to talk to you for real. What they've done to your community, these Jews, they fucked up your community.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad for you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they're doing it to everyone.
So you
What
want
they
to
did, what they did to you guys, now they're doing to everyone.
get me Isaiah 42 and 22.
The shit they did with rap.
So what this gentleman is talking about is very true. Hip hop used to be a tool to basically voice our social problems.
It was good when it started.
But as soon as they started going, hey, come sign my check at my record label, at that point it's like, okay, well now I have creative control over what you do.
They pushed all the degeneracy. And they made you guys hate each other and fight and kill each other. It's horrible.
I'm gonna tell you, they didn't make us do it.
Well, they sold, they sold
Yeah.
out. They
You
sold
know,
out. But everyone does for money, so.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the reason why I say that is because everybody has a choice. And most of our people, they choose rightly. I'm not gonna say most of us choose the wrong thing. It only takes a small amount of people to choose wrongly, and then you just pump the music in over and over again, and eventually the next generation thinks that's the way to go. But check this out.
It's Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
So that's why we're in their hands. We disobeyed God, so the Most High God was like, okay, you won't serve me? I'm going to put you in the hands of your enemies, and you're going to serve them. Do you have children, sir? If your son came to you and said, Jerry, his dad is so much cooler than you, and he has better snacks than you, eventually after hearing that shit, you're going to be like, you know what, go live with Jerry. What do you think God did? He did the same thing. Get me 2 Maccabees 4 and 11. See, again, that's why when people tell me that they're from a certain nation, I'm looking at how you respond to the scriptures. Because 2 Ezra 3 and 36 says, Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. I understand why you would turn away from Christianity, but I never understand why you turn away from the Bible. Don't throw the book away. Because the book is what people won't read. You notice when you go to church, what's the last book that the pastor reads? The Bible. Did you know the Bible says you can't even take a tithe?
But isn't the Bible, is this the new one or the Old Testament?
Both. We do both.
The New Testament?
Well, old, new, and apocrypha.
Because isn't the Old Testament the Torah?
Yes. Well, so it's the Torah and Tanakh.
Technically?
Well, it's both. It's the Torah, which is the first 5 books, and then the Tanakh, which is all the way up to Malachi. Yeah, so you have the Torah and the prophets, the law and the prophets, right? So, but the thing is, if you want to know what God really feels about things or what he told people to do, you can't throw that away. And the Christian pastors tell you, read the New Testament.
The problem is, I hear what you're saying. I like what you guys are doing. Especially because I think it'll help your community, the black community, which needs it. But again, the problem is, they got a stranglehold, the mind control, they brainwash people to believe that they're the chosen people. The uphill battle you have is to reverse that
well, I mean that they basically run everything.
We're not taught that they run everything.
Well, I mean I know the
What are we
Holocaust.
taught in school?
Well, the
And what are we
Holocaust.
taught? And what are we taught in movies and everything?
Well, the Holocaust, and that they're
Well, yeah.
God's children. But the thing is though,
Holocaust, God's chosen. So the problem is, how the fuck do you get people to unlearn that? That's the challenge. And I like what you're saying. I'd rather believe that you guys are. Anything's better than these motherfuckers.
Hold on. No, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm definitely gonna let you finish. Again, even the heathen understand the way the world is being ran right now, this is not sustainable. This is not. You can even attest to that. The way these people are running the world, this is not
Destroying
sustainable.
And the other thing too, they're destroying all of us.
Oh, yeah.
All races.
Yes.
The thing is, what's the beauty about different races?
But we're all different. But here's the thing.
Again, I'm not against people marrying other races, and that's great. If you love someone and it's a different race, that's great. But when it's pushed, when you're coerced, when you're brainwashed to mix, exactly. And they push all this shit. So they're destroying all our races. There's no races anymore. We're all mixed.
So I want to show you why it's destroying you. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 33 or 32 and start at 7. We always get it.
Is this recording?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have to because the stuff we saying, people want to fight.
They want to fight?
Yeah,
Fight you?
yeah. Oh shit, we've had to get down over here a number of times.
Like who?
Well, what do you mean, like who and like?
Like who? Who trying to fight me?
Like just yeah. Well, mainly white folks. Yeah, but we've had our own people try to fight us too. Yeah. Well, who are the prophets in the Bible getting killed by? Other Israelites. Okay, you even said it yourself. Our people they're snared in the mind. But check this out. This is why it's destroying.
You guys give me hope. It's nice.
Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found...
So we're supposed to be God's holy people. Holy means separate. I can't be separate if I'm telling my son, hey, so you're partly me and partly a white woman too, because that's your mother. The Bible says you are who your father is. It don't matter what you look like. So that's why I'm saying in your case. So I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I see the shoes. I see the way we move as black men. I look for that type of stuff in other people because that gives it away. The Bible says that we have a salt and swagger about ourselves. I have a question. People in your family, can they sing and dance pretty well? You got any singers and dancers? How about this? I'll go with the curses. You got people in prison for drugs and violent crime? No? Okay, well, because the curses be on us head, right? You can lead a spotless life and still end up in jail as a black man, Hispanic man, one way or another. Or shot down in the streets, catching stray bullets. You showed up to a cookout, not knowing somebody had beef. Now all of a sudden you catch a stray going, what happened?
Culture's messed up. That's sad.
Give me Amos 3 and 6. Now, and I'm also looking at your response to some of this knowledge. Because I know no pastor in the church has read this stuff. Because if they read it, well, I mean, and you scoff at the word. I do too.
The big multi-millionaire ones?
Oh, all of them. Any of them that say, hey,
What's the guy in Houston?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
I love him. Oh, yeah.
He's got to be a Jew, dude.
Look, I don't know if... I don't...
He's a closet Jew, dude.
Either...
What about the guy here in San Antonio who's always about Israel? The fat fuck?
Oh, John Hakey.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's saying all the people that I used to watch when I was a kid.
That piece of shit. But hold up. There's a black dude that sucks major Jew dick, too. What's his name? He's in Dallas. T.D. Jakes?
TD Jakes. Oh, yeah. So
He supports Israel, too, right?
and when you say he sucks Jew dick, he might literally suck it. Because that dude's zesty as hell.
They're all sellouts, dude.
So give me
Sad.
hold that real quick. Give me Jeremiah 23 and 1. I want to show you the ones of our people who mislead us. The Most High God has a special penalty for them.
I hope so.
Yeah, because at this point, with what's going on in the world, for these pastors not to be saying what times we live in, it should be criminal. But at the same time, though, it's expected if you read the scripture.
I'll say this. What they've done to the Palestinians, they're going to do to all of us.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. You heard what they say about the
They're gonna do to all
Goyim?
of us.
What they say about the
Oh, I
Goyim?
know.
Yeah, they say
We're
it's
all
an
going.
well, they literally say it's an honor for you and me as a Goyim to go die for them.
Well, they do. These American soldiers do every day.
Yep. And you see the ones dying now, they're in their 20s. They're in the flower of their youth, dying for nothing.
Sad, dude.
Go ahead and get it real quick.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
Yeah, keep going.
Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock, and have driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil you're doing. I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord.
That's why we're out here. Because we're those so-called righteous shepherds that are, I know we might sound rough, but if you check our pedigree, and that's one thing I'll give you credit for. You're listening, you're going, wait a minute, is what he's saying true? Damn how he's saying it. What is he saying? That's why I'm telling you, search out your fathers. Everyone's not doing that. Give me that second Ezra 3 and 36 real quick. I want you to hear this before you go.
Sure.
Because I know you walked away from Christianity. Do that. But look up the Hebrew Israelites online. You're going to hear a lot of things. You've already heard us. You know how we get down, right? But when we talk about how to keep the laws, if you truly believe that the God in heaven is just and he has a chosen people, and you feel it in your spirit to do likewise, you have to be an Israelite, man.
Look, I know a lot of what's in that book, and it's really good. And I think Christians, for the most part, are really good people. If you could separate, here's my thing. If you could separate these Jews that you say are fake Jews, if you could separate them from that, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they separate
I
themselves.
know, but I'm saying, if you're successful, let's say in the future, somehow, some fucking miracle, where you're able to physically, literally separate these fucking evil Jews. But, dude, it's amazing. But that's the problem, is it comes with them.
But here,
I'd rather have you guys
We're not
any
going to do
day.
anything. The Most High.
I know.
yeah,
I
we have
hope
to
he
wait.
does.
We have to wait. We have to
Dude,
wait.
If there's a God, the guy you're talking about, this person, whatever it is, he needs to do something because they're destroying this world.
Look, I'm going to give you some evidence.
They're destroying this world.
The so-called fake Jew and the white man took over blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and hold on, let me go through it, right? At the same time, he had the slavery of the Dutch in Malaysia. He had the slavery of the Inuit or the Eskimos in Greenland. He had the slavery all over the earth, and these people didn't have sunscreen to go outside. How'd they do it? The mightiest, most entrenched people on the planet all fell to the white man at the same time. And he showed up everywhere with his hat in his hand going, I need help. If that's not evidence for God, man, I don't know what is.
Here's the thing, though. I have a problem with the term white man. It's just as bad as the black man.
Yeah, I agree.
Because look, there's no such thing as a white race.
Say that again for the camera.
There's no such thing as a white race.
We agree.
Like, I get lumped into white. I didn't sign up for that. You're telling me a Norwegian is the same as a Portuguese guy? We're all white? That's like saying a Moroccan is the same as a guy from Nigeria. No, they're not.
But if they have the same father, they are the same by way
I
of
know
where
what
they
I'm
come
saying.
from. I know what you're saying.
But I'm saying, in this world we live in, racially, this fucking concept of white, they blame everything on the white man. Come on, dude. It's like blaming everything on black people. It's the same bullshit. There's no such thing as a black race. There's no such thing as a white race. You are of African descent from a certain part of Africa, sub-Sahara Africa. My ancestors are from Europe, a certain part of Europe. Doesn't mean I'm this thing called white. This fucking thing that they have us brainwashed using these terms. It's not good, dude.
So the terms-
we need to stop using these terms.
Well, no, we use
You
it
know
because,
what I mean? That's my opinion.
but we have to because if we don't,
Because the problem is, and I get what you're saying. Like the white man did this, the white man did this. Like, dude,
No, but
you know what I mean?
but if you're talking to an audience and they don't know
I
the
get it.
terms,
It makes it, yeah.
you have to let
I get
people.
it. I get it.
Yeah, you have to invite them into the conversation
I
because
totally get it, but
I try to explain to our people that those terms white and black didn't come around until about 1681. That's when it was codified into law.
how was it?
Yeah, that's when they started going in the eyes of the law.
Here or Europe?
Here. Yeah. So the white and black has always been a thing. So in Khazaria, you have the Aki Khazars and the Kara Khazars. The Aki Khazars being the white, Kara Khazars being the black. The Vikings, you had the Fingales and the Douvgales. The white Vikings and the black Vikings. White and black has always been a thing.
It simplifies it to black and
It
white.
does.
But that's the problem. The world's not black and white.
Well, and plus, what about the people
There's
who
a lot
aren't?
of gray.
But what about the people who aren't necessarily black, but they're blacker than me? Like,
Skin
yeah,
color?
like people from India. A lot of them are darker than me.
Sri Lankans are darker than you.
Yeah.
Are they black?
But the thing is, though,
See what I mean?
I know, and I understand.
It's like,
But
they're
that's-
blacker than you. Are they
But
black?
but
No.
that's where when they come up to spots like this,
Yeah.
we're supposed to have enough knowledge to go, hey, the Israelites that were moved into that region, this is who they are. And then the oppressor, this is who they are. And this is what they're called.
You know the frustrating thing that they co-opted your guys' culture here and made you the suppressed these Jews.
Mhm.
They fucking hijacked the black, how would you say, struggle,
Yeah, definitely.
and they basically manage your struggle. Let's be honest.
This guy, I
They-
swear,
they
you
profit-
need to look up your fathers, man.
They profited off you guys so fucking much.
I know.
It's disgusting. Because you guys are talented. Black people are music, sports. They make money off it's unreal.
I know.
It's fucking unreal.
Brother,
It's sad.
give
And
me
then-
that
hold on,
second.
Let me finish.
Yeah, yeah, finish.
Last
Go ahead.
thing. And then they co-opted the whole civil rights thing.
Yeah.
It was all them. They admit Rosa Parks.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
set that up.
Martin Luther King as well.
He
They wrote his
set out-
speeches.
He wrote all the speeches.
Well, so, but hold on, we got it. Hold
The
on.
only real dude was Malcolm X.
Hold on, let me
Well,
talk about
realer
it. Let
than
me-
Martin Luther.
So what happened at the twilight of both of their lives is that they switched. Martin Luther King gave the "I integrated my people into a burning house" speech, and then Malcolm X came back from Mecca saying, "I saw black and white Jews and Muslims." So he was about to betray the Muslim Brotherhood, right? And that's why they capped him. They were like, "Yo, we are not going to let you destroy everything that we built. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of you." Now, Martin Luther King got his overlords killed him. That's why Jesse Jackson, people like Dick Gregory, they basically, yeah, they've already admitted, that they basically set him up to be shot. And that didn't even kill him. He got killed in the hospital. They smothered him in the bed.
That guy didn't shoot.
Well, but even if they,
Just like JFK, that guy didn't shoot. Come on. But anyway, yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, but so like trying to tell our people like, hey, like that's why the Bible says better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. Because at the end, you see what somebody really is made out of. There is no, well, and then he folded. Like that's over with. It's over. But if you live in, you could be the most mighty and stout hero, and then it's found out you was a coon and a plant the whole time. So better is the end of the thing. That's why I'm telling you. What's your name?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah, what's your name?
I'm Haya El, as in Haya El.
What was your name?
I'm on.
I'm telling you, Johnny, Yochanan would be your name in the Hebrew, right?
Yochanan?
Yochanan or Yochanan, Yochanan, right? But
See, the thing is too, it's an uphill battle. I like what you're doing. Keep doing it. It's beautiful for your community and everything.
Mhm.
But the uphill battle, like Hebrew is so tarnished to me.
oh yeah, definitely,
Just saying the word, I'm like, I think of Jew. I'm like, oh hell no, dude.
because you're thinking of Yiddish.
You can't be afraid to fight. The battle is
Well,
not-
Yiddish is it's a mixture of Hebrew,
German, Latin,
German and-
yeah, and
and
Hebrew.
Hebrew,
Yeah.
yeah.
You keep saying the uphill battle. You can't run from the battle.
oh, I'm not running.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You
I'm
keep
teaching-
like, the uphill
I'm
battle.
teaching my son about him, and but it's like, I get it. No, I agree. I got a battle. You guys are battling. You're out here on the streets. It's beautiful. I'm just
Word up
saying,
your
dude.
home, Like, man.
Yeah.
I'd
Word
rather,
up that
I'd
one.
rather die. I'd rather die like a Palestinian fighting
Hey man,
than sell out to these motherfuckers.
get that real quick for him, because what you're saying again.
But dude, they control the fucking. They control
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
They control the media.
So after this, can I read you one thing to show you that them controlling things is biblical? Nothing is happening on the planet that God didn't account for. Check this out. Yeah, get the second.
One more and I gotta go.
Second Ezra chapter 3, verse 36. Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
I just wanted to get that out the way. Go to Zechariah and go to 13 and 8. Because what Brother Johnny is saying is that many of our people are just dumb and asleep, and it's an uphill battle.
Not just your people, all these.
Oh, I know, the whole world. But out of the Israelites in particular,
all the goy, all the goy.
but the Israelites in particular, the Most High God has already come to terms with that. Check it out.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God.
So we already know most people aren't going to wake up, King. We know that. The same way the Most High God is cool with it, we cool with it too. But we know something about the Bible called regeneration, right? When you die, your spirit returns to God, you receive your judgment, and then about 2 or 3 generations, a generation is 10 years. The Epistle of Jeremy tells you how long a generation is, right? About 20, 30 years, you come right back down here and you're reborn, same tribe, same gender. Might look different because your mom is different.
Like reincarnation.
Like reincarnation, but you're not going to be a butterfly or a tiger. You're always going to be whatever you are. So if you're an Elamite, you're an Elamite, Israelite, Edomite. See where I'm going? So,
Man, woman.
yeah. So that gets rid of the whole, well, God's going to have to kill somebody. Okay, and then they'll come back. Because of the millennial reign of Christ, it literally says that those who basically don't make it, the rest don't live until that 1,000 years is over.
My brother-in-law is Muslim.
Okay.
From Saudi. And we have discussions with him. He's very Muslim, you know. And I always ask him, what's God waiting for, man? What the fuck is God waiting for? How long these evil fucking Jews gonna keep doing this shit? He doesn't do shit. I'm like, what is he waiting for? He's gonna come, he's gonna do something. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. That's what I ask you guys. The same question. I want to believe. I want this God to come back.
Can I give you an answer?
I want him to come back and take care of this shit.
Okay. Can I give you an answer?
Sure, give me that.
Go to second Maccabees chapter 6.
You know, in a lot of states, by the way, and I think this state, I know Florida, we can be prosecuted for hate speech for talking about Jews this way.
Oh, I know.
You know Ron DeSantis, that piece of shit in Florida. You know he went to Israel and he passed. You should look it up if you don't know this. He went to Israel and passed an anti-Semitism law for Florida.
They're doing that all over America and
That was
Canada
like
now.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And this piece of shit governor here too, he's gone there many times in his fucking wheelchair, touched the wall with
Yeah,
a
the
hat.
Wailing Wall and shit.
He's a fucking sellout too. Dude, they all are. They all are.
So start at, verse 12, right? So just to frame what's going on, Brother Johnny is asking, what's God waiting for? We're going to make it nice and succinct, but the Most High God is not waiting. The Most High God has written a script, and like any good director, even if you want to see your hero that you've made win, you got to wait, because if you jump the gun, then the villain is not as villainous as they should be.
I just wish it was in my lifetime.
Look, if you're familiar with the prophecies, it's real close. Okay?
Good.
So the book of
Let's get it
Revelation,
over with.
the book of Revelation says at the height of World War III, that's when the Messiah is supposed to return. So, but let's get this.
there. Yeah, go for it.
I'll say don't be too wanting of it because it's going to be terrible.
It's gonna be horrible, man.
Second Maccabees chapter 6, start at 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Keep going.
For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with the other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins. So
So they become what?
till they become to the fullness of their sins.
So like I said, if the director jumps the gun, they don't come to the fullness of their sin. That means they don't deserve the punishment that God has in store for them. That you have kids, you know how it is. If you mess up in school one more time,
I'm gonna tax that ass. But what if he makes all B's that quarter? Does that change the punishment if he make all F's the next quarter? No. So the punishment is still there. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna hold on to it. Keep going.
Till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he shall take vengeance of us.
That's it.
So I know it seems horrible what you see us going through. And I'm going to tell you, it is horrible. However, they have to pay that 1,000 years back in the kingdom. They're going to build the kingdom of Christ. Israelites ain't going to be out here slaving away. Them days are about to pass away, Mr. Johnny. That's why I'm telling you to search out your fathers. Because if you happen to be one of us, you could be joining us in that millennial reign of Christ. Just keep the commandments. Things like don't eat pork, don't defile your temple, smoking. Like if you have a weed problem, it don't look like
Not
you
the
do.
Noahide, right?
Not the Noahide. No. And I know they're about to push that. You're right on that, Mr. Johnny.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
You guys, I love what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. Be safe out here. Right? So, back to the camera, right? This is why knowing world history matters. It's not about what people say in terms of where they come from. You have literal Israelites in Russia, and they're called the Samoyeds. See, most of y'all think about the Bering Strait theory where the white man tells you there has to be an ice bridge to sail or to walk across over to the mainland of America. Not understanding that Sarah Palin, why she was vilified for saying she could see see Russia from her backyard, when she was right. She could see Russia from her backyard. It's 50 miles away. So most people don't realize that is a boat ride. That is a canoe ride, like I say, with a snack.
I'm scared to jump away.
And if you think that our Native American brothers didn't know how to sail 50 miles to Russia, you just hate people.
That's the bar, bro.
Yeah, I mean, for real, you got people who can swim that in a day. And you mean to tell me that an entire civilization couldn't take a simple canoe and go over 50 miles? That's why I always try to tell people you need to be abreast history. Be aware of what's going on. You don't have to know it all, but don't be ignorant of every damn thing. Like, damn. Be ye not ignorant of any matter, great or small. Can you find me that in the Bible real quick? I just want to tell people where to get that. Right? You know, and again, as long as he's in earshot. Johnny, look up the commandments and keep them. Keep the commandments. That's why Brother Amal was in the spirit, man. When he said that, you know, we got to separate these fake Jews from the Bible, it's like, yo, they've been separated. They were never conjoined unto it. How the hell you gonna all of a sudden usurp God's people's position by doing everything God told you not to do? You remove their land marker, you rape their women and children, and the men, and then you finance the worst slave trade the world has ever seen, and then deny it. I'm trying to figure out, at what point in that process do you get to conjoin yourself on to the Most High God and claim to be his people? The only way you could do that is if you lie to the point where nobody knows you did that.
That's why I'm trying to warn them. Don't be trying to run from the battle. That's an uphill battle. So don't be scared.
Well, no, that's so I wanted to go to Joshua 1:16, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take another angle. We've already come to peace with it. We know most of our people ain't gonna make it. Most of our people are out of their minds. They love their oppressor. They got Stockholm syndrome, and it's a terminal case. And you know what? It's gonna be terminal. Like I said, it's a terminal case. Okay, it's gonna be terminal then. They just gonna die. And then they'll be reborn in their right mind. They'll be shamefaced in the kingdom. With their hands in their pockets, looking down, kicking rocks, all that shit. Go ahead and get it.
Sirach chapter 5, verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in great matter or small.
So you're not supposed to be walking around here not reading, not pursuing knowledge in general. How you doing, King? Believe in the Bible? All right, man. If you're Native Hispanic, keep the commandments, man. You a king. You an Israelite. Right? See, and that's why we have to tell our people, man, don't be content to not know anything. See, and most of our people, they don't understand, like when you go to the bodega in the hood, Habib behind the counter, he'd be laughing at our people. He's like, yo, y'all are literal royalty, and y'all acting like monkeys, man. I'm not even gonna dress it up. Y'all acting like animals, killing each other over material goods. You're letting me come into your neighborhood as a stranger and make money off you. You're just letting me do it. As a matter of fact, you treat me better than you treat any of your own people. He laughs at us because he knows if the shoe was on the other foot, he wouldn't do that for you. You couldn't set up a business in his community. The people would burn your business down. He knows that. See, again, all these nations, they're well aware of who the real Israelites are. And that's why I always say to our people, have you dared to ask? I always ask the young people, have you asked anybody if they know who the real Israelites are? And more times than not, they'll look at you with a blank face like, well, I'm supposed to ask? I was like, how else are you supposed to learn? If you don't want to go to your own people for knowledge, at least ask the heathen. Believe in the Bible? See, because if you ask these people running these gas stations, they're going to let you know. They're going to let you know who the real Israelites are. And they're not going to say those people over in Israel today. Not at all. See, again, that's why it's important to have that zeal for God and make it according to knowledge. Make it according to knowledge. The more you find out about what's going on, the more you find out about history, the more it should compel you to serve God and keep the commandments. But King, let's get back on this lesson a little bit. We're probably going to go for, what, another hour? What time? 6:23? Okay. We'll go to 7. All right, King. Get me, let's do that first Maccabees 1 and 54 through 64. Fine. 1 and 54 through 64. This man talking about fine. Look, man, we got a lot to do out here, King.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 54. Now the 15th day of the month, Cassia, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire.
So we're going to take baby steps on this. See, all these white societies now, they're trying to burn the Bible. When you look at Canada, when you look at America, now they're starting to try to burn the Bible or to prohibit reading of the Bible as it is written. See, this is why we have to tell our people, get this knowledge while you can. Because your heathen adversaries, they're awfully sore about you telling them that they're not the real Jews. They're awfully sore. But guess what? It don't change the reality that you are not the real Jews. Keep going.
Verse 57. And wheresoever was found with any of the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Thus did they, by their authority, unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities.
So any of our people who are found with any of the books of the Old Testament, because that's what they would have had at the time, they put them to death. And they did that once a month. In other words, they were going home to home, raiding houses. And you had people telling on each other, oh, I saw so-and-so, and he refused to eat pork, and he was trying to keep Sabbath. But you ain't hear that from me, though. See, again, that's why the Christ had to tell our people, hey, man, the people who are going to be your enemy in the last days are going to be the people of your own house. And not only are they going to be your enemy, they're going to get you set up to be put to death. They're going to be running to the white man going, ooh, that Senor is right over there. I saw him, and he was trying to read the Bible. I saw him. Ooh, I saw him keeping the Sabbath, and I was mighty hungry. Yeah, hey, man, full FBI, that damn internal plant type shit. Mic'd up, telling the enemy. COINTELPRO 2.0. See, again, I wish I was saying something that the world hadn't already seen. COINTELPRO is a real thing. See, that's why we have to let our people know. Ain't nothing coming that you ain't seen before. It's just going to be on a level that you've never experienced before. It's going to be the intensity of it, the scale of it. and the brevity of it. Hey, man, he getting that money. I know, shit, man. That's Jake, boy. You know what I'm saying? But see, most of our people don't realize that this is going to be the final act of a desperate king. This ain't going to be no long campaign where Esau going to pass legislation so he can, wring his hands together and laugh in your face and do all the other shit. No. Yeah, he taking the glove off the iron, the velvet glove off of the iron fist. The worldly proverb of a tyrant who just he's getting down to the brass tacks. And his brass tacks is killing the Israelites. He ain't even going to dress it up. I wouldn't be surprised if Esau go, hey, if you call yourself an Israelite and we find out, we coming to get your ass. All did. Keep going.
Verse 59. Now, the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit,
So, for those of y'all who still remember what I said and the question that I posed at the beginning of my lesson, do you think the white man gonna stop hanging and killing you? Hell no. Because if he would never stop killing babies until we basically stood up and threw off the yoke of oppression by force, if he was willing to kill babies by hanging them, he's gonna kill blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians all day, every day, as long as he has the power to do so. Go ahead and finish it out.
verse 62. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel.
So our people during those times had enough resolve and commitment to our God to choose death rather than to serve the ways of our oppressor. And that's the same dichotomy that you're going to be faced with today. Serve God or serve your enemies. Choose. And just because your enemies put you to death does not mean that you have been delivered from God's hand. Give me Deuteronomy. As a matter of fact, can I read it? It's my favorite scripture to read. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. I'm there. Don't worry about it. No, nigga, I'm there. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine adversaries, and reward them that hate me. Adversaries, enemies, same shit. Right? So the Most High God has made a promise that death will not deliver you from his control. As a matter of fact, death sends you right to him. Those of y'all who you're still stuck emotionally because you have separation anxiety for relatives that have died, or you feel guilty about people that you saw that suffered and they seem to die a horrendous death, don't worry about it. They got the comfort they needed immediately. Give me 2 Ezra 14:34 through 35. I said it earlier, but we're going to prove it. When you die, your spirit departs your vessel. It returns to God, and the Most High God gives you your judgment, and then he allows you to rest. Y'all be safe, sister. If y'all are Native Hispanic, just know y'all Israelites. Keep the commandments.
2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 34. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
Most people don't understand life and death is a cycle that ultimately is a proving process. What if you're wicked for 10 lives and then you're righteous on the 11th? Righteous to the extent that it's pretty much perfect. That means you're not entirely wicked. This is a proving process, right? The Most High God has things set up where you are going to stand in a certain lot at the end of days. And last time I checked, the Most High God is batting 1,000. He don't miss. See, that's why to that brother Johnny, it's like, man, you got to trust the process. God know what he's doing. You might not know or understand what God is doing, but don't worry about that. Do what God told you to do.
Worried about the wrong thing.
Yeah, you worry about the wrong shit, man. Most High God told you to keep the commandment. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you are God's chosen, the Israelites. Keep the commandments. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Do what God told you to do so he can keep all that calamity around you away from you. To my Native Hispanic brethren, you want ICE to stay away from your family and your house? Do what God told you to do. To my black brothers and sisters, you don't want to get lynched and found hanging from one of these trees? Do what God told you to do. And if you don't know what he told you to do, seek out his teachers so you can learn what he told you to do.
Warning I gave you guys, don't hasten something you ain't ready.
Yeah, man, we got to tell our people, stop trying to rush judgment.
You ain't even ready.
As a matter of fact, give me second Ezra, is it 5? Yeah, 5 and 42. But to finish that off in Deuteronomy 32 and 42. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives, from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. So the Most High God is he's gonna make his sword fat with blood to revenge his children. See, that Johnny fellow was saying things that most Israelites say when they first come into the truth. Well, if there's a real God, how come he ain't punished these demons for what they've done to his children? Most High God said, don't worry about that. I got a plan. But just because you want me to go faster don't mean you're going to fuck the plan up. So do what I told you to do. Wait ye upon me until I rise up to the prey. That's what God told you. Wait until I move. Because when I move, I'm going to empower you to move. Don't worry about it. And plus, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, last time I checked, you ain't got no army. You ain't got no choice but to wait on God. You see what this white man is doing to these Palestinians? Sending drones. He's literally monitoring children from satellites. They can see a candle lit from space. You think you're going to just all of a sudden get a couple of guns and go against your enemy, the white man? You better wait upon God so he can plead your cause. And don't worry, his judgment is likened unto a ring. Let's hear about it.
Second Ezra, chapter 5, verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, couldst thou not make those that have been made, and be now, and that are for to come at once, that thou mightest show thy judgment the sooner?
So, with Ezra being told by the Most High, my judgment is like a ring. Basically, what goes around comes around. And just as there's no swiftness of the first, there's no slackness of the last, or vice versa. Just because it's first doesn't mean it goes faster or slower than the last. It's all done by standard and by number. So Ezra was like, okay, cool. So how about this? Why don't you just have everybody that's going to be born now, so that we can get this over with and we don't have to suffer as long a period of time, so we can get all the suffering out of the way. Let's see what the angel says to Ezra in response.
Verse 44, then answered he me, and said, the creature may not haste above the maker, neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. And I said, as thou hast said unto thy servant, that thou, which givest life to all, hast given life at once to the creature that thou hast created, and the creature bare it, even so it may now also bear them, that now be present at once. And he said unto me, ask the womb of a woman, and say unto her, if thou bringest forth children, why dost thou it not together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once.
That
So
makes sense.
the angel basically told him, he was like, hey man, you're telling God to essentially do what you know is impossible for a woman to do. The earth can't hold all these people that are to come all at once. The same way a woman can't give forth 10 children at once. See, again, this type of knowledge, an angel had to set Ezra straight. You're asking God to do something that would ultimately upend his creation.
My card.
I'm not saying we ain't got nothing to do with that. And look at us like we crazy. Anyway, shit. Man, for real, I know 2 black men over here, but we ain't stealing shit. Damn. But, you know,
There's the perpetrator.
yeah, for real, they did it. Like, what? But, no, like, so, you know, the angel had to let Ezra know, like, hey, man, like, the Most High God has a plan. And the same way the womb of a woman can only give forth 1 to 2 children if she has twins, stuff like that. You know, and yeah, they're, you know, you have octuplets and all the other shit, but for the most part, that's unnatural. Because you have to take IVF medicine to have that happen. But on the off chance a woman has 5, 6 children at once, that doesn't mean that that's normal. And the same way the womb of a woman can only give forth seed 1 at a time, is the same way the earth can hold so many people. And as a result, you have to wait in season. And not to mention, there are things that have to happen according to prophecy that can't just happen all at once. But keep going.
Yes, 47.
And I said she cannot, but must do it by distance of time. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their time.
That's all we need.
Right? So the Most High God has designed it so that whenever you're supposed to be born, you're going to be born. And whenever you're supposed to die, you're going to die. And you can't do nothing about it. That's why I always ask people, no matter how bad you want something, can you overpower God and make him do what he doesn't want to do? And they all say no. And it's like, okay, so why are you fighting against God so damn hard? Do what God told you to do. And then people want to be in charge of all this major stuff, but they can't handle any of the trivial things. The Most High God is the reason why you wake up and draw breath every day. As soon as you can figure that part out on your own, then you can graduate to bigger shit. Until then, stay in your lane. You remember when your parents used to tell you stay in a child's place? That's what all these, when you look at all the angels that visit Ezra in the book of 2nd Ezra, they all end up saying the same thing. Stay in your lane. When when God answered Job, he told Job, stand up, gird up thy loins, and I'm going to answer you. And I want to reply like a man. But before I ask you anything, I'm going to ask you this. Where were you when the foundations of the world were laid? I'll wait. Where were you when I was setting the course of the wind around the planet? I'll wait. Where were you when I was watering the grasses of the earth and giving rise to various plants and various creatures? I'll wait. And all Job can say is, hey man, I wasn't there. I don't know nothing about that.
Tell me how it all works.
But even Ezra, when the angel said, hey man, what's the way to fire? So even if you tell God, I don't know, tell me how it works, he could tell you, you still wouldn't understand. It's above your pay grade. That's why God says stay in your lane and do what I told you to do. You understand that part, and because you understand it, you think you're better than that, and you're not. That's what I made you for. Do what I told you to do. But King, if you do not mind, let's go to Mark 15 and 15 through 21. Because what we just read in 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verses 54 through 64, was how they used to lynch babies. And I'm talking about the Greeks doing that to the Israelites, our people. And then for those of y'all saying, well, what's that got to do with Christ? Well, what do you think they did to Christ? They lynched him. Don't believe me? Let's read about it.
Mark chapter 15, verse 15. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them, and delivered Jesus, when he had scourged him, to be crucified. And the soldiers led him away into the hall, called Creator.
Hey, how they break it down like that makes it hard to
Praetor? Praetor? Yeah, Praetor. Yeah. Praetor.
The hall called Praetorum, and they called together the whole band. And they clothed him with purple, and platted a crown of thorns, and put it about his head, and began to salute him, Hail King of the Jews. And they smote him on the head with a reed, and did spit upon him, and bowing their knees worshipped him. And when they had mocked,
Baby steps. So when they used to mock our people, they would do things like that. They would chain you up, spit on you, talk shit about you, beat you, torture you, do all types of things to humiliate you. They used to castrate the black man and stuff his genitals in his mouth. See, again, that's why when you look on social media now, they're horrified at learning these things. But if you read the Bible, you would know this is what these people do. This is what they've been doing. Keep going.
verse 20. And when they had mocked him, they took off the purple from him, and put his own clothes on him, and led him out to crucify him. And they compelled one Simon, a Cyrenian, who passed by coming out of the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to bear his cross. That's 21, right?
Yeah. So what you have here is that you see Jesus Christ about to be lynched. Don't close that, because there's more in that. Go. So you have a man being set up to be lynched. They've beaten him, they've mocked him, they've spat on him, they put the crown of thorns on his head, and he had to have assistance while carrying his cross. How you doing, King? Got time for the Bible today? A couple minutes?
I'm trying to make it to
Okay. Are y'all black and Hispanic by chance?
Yes, we are.
Okay, are you Negro or are you Puerto Rican?
I'm Negro.
Puerto Rican, you will be Judah, Ephraim. Southern Kingdom King, Northern Kingdom King. Y'all are Israelites. Keep God's commandments, all right?
Amen.
All right, y'all special, okay? Of course.
Y'all be safe.
Y'all be safe. It's a lot going on right now. See, and we're reading about how Christ was literally lynched, how we're finding all these blacks and Hispanics hanging today. This is what the white man been doing. That's why for those of y'all saying that we one cookout in the march away from changing, I got news for you. You ain't never gonna change. I mean, and you might say, man, if y'all spreading hate. Well, God damn it, I guess we be hateful. If telling the truth is hateful, then shit, whatever. Especially you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you know we're not lying. Because if 400 years of literally doing everything your heart could devise to torture a people isn't enough, you're never going to have enough. Most of our people are not familiar with the torture devices that they literally schemed up and created. Look at the Spanish Inquisition torture devices. Can you search that for me real quick? Spanish Inquisition torture devices. Those devices were expressly used on our people who refused to convert to Catholicism. See, and this is why we have to go in detail about this stuff, because most of our people don't have context for what we're saying. When we say how brutal the so-called white man is, they think it's just a nigga being mean to him. The white man used to literally have a penalty where he would put a board of wood on you, and then he would just add rocks until you died. It was called getting pressed. And you would literally get crushed to death by rocks incrementally, not even just dropping a heavy weight on you and being done with it. He would prolong your suffering for hours. He might tie you to a little windmill and dip you into the water. And every time it rotates, you go in and out of the water, and he would drown you that way. What you got? Yeah.
The Spanish Inquisition primarily used 3 documented torture techniques to extract confessions during interrogations: the potra, a stretching rack; the strafado, suspension by the wrist tied behind the back; and water torture, toca, or waterboarding.
Now, can you get me Lamentations 5? We're going to go back to Mark 15. But it literally says in Lamentations 5, they hang the princes by their hands. Go start at 11 and read 12. See, to blacks, Hispanics, and Indians, that's why you need to be familiar with your history, man. Because when you read about certain things like the Spanish Inquisition and how they were torturing the Jews to force them to convert to Catholicism,
They weren't doing that to the people calling themselves Jews today. They were doing that to the people who are the real Jews of today. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. See, that's exactly why they want to co-opt our struggle, because they understand that the real Jews have to go through these things. Go ahead and read.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 11. They ravished the woman in Zion, and the maids in the cities of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their hands. The faces of the elders were not honored.
So it literally says that the princes were hanged up by their hands. That was one of the primary torture techniques of the Spanish up on the Marins, or the Marranos is what they call them. Can you look up that term? Marranos is M-A-R-R-O-S, I believe. Marrano. Oh, it's, is it Marranos? Marinades? And okay, let me get I know how to spell Marinism. So, oh, it's Morenos. Yeah. Morenos.
The word Marrano primarily has a historical definition as a derogatory term for Iberian Jews or Muslims forced to convert to Christianity during the 15th and 16th centuries, who secretly practiced their original faith.
Hence the term Marinism. Oh yeah, get that.
In modern Spanish, it literally means pig or swine, and is used as an insult meaning a dirty or ill-mannered person.
So why would they be calling the real Jews, the so-called Iberian Jews, right? What is an Iberian Jew? Because last time I checked, they called themselves Sephardic Jews. So what's the distinction? Oh, that the real Jews versus the fake ones? Oh, okay. See, and they were practicing Marianism, or basically the crypto Jews, the hidden Jews, right? And you notice they don't mention the Spanish Inquisition. See, for those of y'all who are leaning on ChatGPT so hard to the point where it's doing your breakdowns, that's going to be your problem right there. Most of the information that you really need is not in there. It's going to spoon feed you little tidbits, and then if you actually talk to the AI and you ask, well, was the Spanish Inquisition happening then? It'll be like, well, yes, it was. You're correct. It's like, well, if you knew that, that's mighty important. Why'd you leave that out? You're talking about one of the most important periods and important occurrences in Spanish history during that era. Why would you leave that out? Because it ties to the real Jews. And plus, everybody knows who is being forced to convert at threat of death to Islam, and that would be the Moors, the Berber tribes, those scattered Bantu descended peoples that go back to the real Israelites that were basically refugees from Israel after Titus Vespasian destroyed our temple in 70 AD. And this is why we say y'all need to be reading, because there's way too much to try to go over and shoehorn into somebody's mind in the span of 10, 15 minutes. When you talking about, I got to go catch a movie or get something to eat. But let's go back to Mark 15 real quick. We got a little bit on there. Yeah.
Mark chapter 15, verse 22. And they
Actually, no, that's it. Get me, no, go to Matthew 27 and 34. Slock. Slock, I thought we had more on that. Let me,
So not only did they crucify Christ, but while Christ was on the cross, they gave him vinegar and gall to drink, or gall. Some say the gall is myrrh, some say the gall is urine. It depends on what researcher you look up, right? But it was prophesied that he would have to drink such a thing. That's why when Christ saw that everything was fulfilled, he said, I thirst, because that was the last tenet that he had to fulfill a prophecy. And once he fulfilled it, he cried with a loud voice and he said, I'm out of this shit. Gave up the ghost.
It's finished.
Yeah, it is finished. I'm out. I can only imagine if you were forced to literally be born knowing that you were going to be hated. You were the light of the earth, but everybody hated you for it. In your entire life, all you were confronted with were the problems of other people. and they demand your absolute attention, and if you do anything for yourself, you're a villain. They call Christ a glutton and a drunkard, all because from time to time he had a sip of wine and he liked to eat. Got time for the Bible, King?
I can hear you.
You can't? Oh, you can hear us? Okay, all praises. I hope that's not sunscreen. Yeah, you don't need that, King. Yeah, that's weird, man.
Clown and shit.
At first, I was like, man, are we getting punked or something? Like, what's going on?
Motherfucker needs that red nose.
Hey, man, sometimes with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, bro, I be wondering. It's like, yo, you mean to tell me you still trying to cover up your blackness, your brownness? You still trying to lighten your skin, seeing these damn devils drinking Melanotan too? Stealing melanin. Y'all don't understand. They literally have to kill you to steal the melanin from you. They got to chop pieces of your body off, and then they got to burn away all the refuse, all the fleshly part that ain't melanin. Then they have to put it in a vacuum chamber at 900 degrees Celsius and anneal it. Can you look up that process? Annealing, A-N-E-E-L-I-N-G, annealing. It's how they break down melanin to use it for industrial and medical purposes. Yeah, can you put annealing melanin? Yeah, because the process is called annealing, but that's what they do to melanin to use it. This is why I be trying to tell people, you need to have an insatiable appetite to acquire knowledge. I understand a lot of this stuff is new. I don't know everything. I don't expect anybody else to know everything either. However, being completely dumbfounded by all this stuff is not a good look. At all. 600 degrees Celsius. My bad.
Thermal annealing of melanin, specifically eumelanin, involves heating thin films of the natural pigment up to 600 degrees Celsius in a high vacuum. This process recognizes its messy molecular sheets into uniform stacked layers, increasing its electrical conductivity by building its fold to create biocompatible conductor for bioelectronics.
So, the chip, what do you think it has in there? Now do you see why you need to know some of this stuff? Because if you are not familiar with the methods that your enemy is going to use to come at you, then you will not recognize them when you see them. When you see these people trying to get bionic limbs, bionic eyes, what do you think the interface is made from to interface with the body? Eumelanin. Most people don't tell you that the melanin that the white man hates so much, he recognizes that it's damn near magic. And because he doesn't have it, he's literally a fraction of what you are as an Israelite. It's the real treasure of the earth. Well spoken. And here's the thing. All of your organs are melanated. They all have melanin in them, especially your brain, eumelanin. You literally have structures in the brain named things like the substantia nigra, or the black body, right? And it's a highly melanated structure in the body. How about the pineal gland? You know, everybody talking about opening their pineal gland, decalcifying the pineal gland. The pineal gland is one of the most melanated substructures of the brain, period. Melanin also helps with neurotransmission. Why do you think they're using it in bioprosthetics? And why do you think they have to get it from black people to use it? And it's not just black people, it's just black folks tend to have the highest concentration of it. So why risk exposing how wicked you are, getting only a little, when you can basically take that same risk and get a lot? It's just a matter of mathematics. See, and again, that's why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you don't understand how much danger you're in. Most of y'all don't even require, when you go to a funeral, for the funeral director to show you that all the organs are still there. You don't even require it. But guess what? They're taking them. Hey, pull up a black market pricing guide on how much your organs are worth. And you will see that your organs alone are worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And we're not even talking about if they were to just try to boil down all the melanin out of your body. We're just talking about straight up your organs. Yeah, for embalming, they have to take your organs out. And they sure as fuck don't put them back in because they're worth more money. Take it out. I remember you. Did you look up that stuff I told you all them times ago? Still ain't wearing no clothes. I see that shit. And still ain't got no man either. Hey, I said that shit. I knew it. I was like, yep, you walk around butt naked, no man.
Oh, this ain't still not.
And still mad. I don't understand why you mad at me. I'm telling you the secret. Put on some clothes, learn how to cook. You want a good man? Do that. If all this, I have a question. If you're doing what everybody else doing, why are you expecting different results? It ain't even a matter of hate. It's a matter of just common fucking sense. You doing what everybody else doing. You don't look no different than them, and you expecting different results. Yet she mad at us, walking around with no man.
Same bitch out the factory every night.
Seriously, you damn thought number 619 Model A. No different. And I'm gonna tell you, for a white woman who kicked up like that to not have a man here in America, you are out of pocket. You are out of pocket all the time. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why the Bible tells you not to be swayed by the beauty of a woman. At all. And I'm old enough to know, hey, getting that 9 and 10 walking around, you usually don't want them. They come with the most bullshit. They got the most hang-ups about themselves. They need the most attention.
The ugliest on the inside.
Yeah, they're the ones who are scarred and ugly on the inside. And plus, you're asking her to do something that's near impossible for a woman. She getting attention from 100 different niggas, and you ask her to get attention just from you. I wish somebody would come up here and tell me I'm lying. That's why the Most High God says that a righteous woman is treasured above rubies, treasured above gold. And I know a lot of you women walk around going, I'm a righteous woman. I'm going to tell you, a wicked woman is a portion for a wicked man. So if you've been dealing with none shit niggas, then guess what? You a none shit bitch. I'm not even going to dress it up. The Most High God level sets you every time he sends a man your way. He lets you know this is what you are. You calling yourself a righteous woman. Don't know how you doing that. You ain't doing nothing I told you to do. Yep. Some of y'all women walking around telling me, man, how come all the homely and ugly women are the ones who get men? Because they're virtuous women. They know how to let a man lead. They know how to play their role. They ain't constantly trying to undermine him every time he make a choice. They ain't begging for attention every moment of the day. They ain't flipping out when they don't get it. And it's a shame. The women walking up right after her, they didn't want to look at us. They were smiling. They were like, man, he right. Look, I ain't trying to put all my business out there, right? But you know how it is when a woman got something up top or on bottom, right? If she got a lot of something, it's really easy for her to get attention from men. So why is that woman persistently single? To you women who are having trouble, y'all about the same. What the fuck? I know you got them Edomite eyes, they don't work as good, but leave my car alone. Unless you're going to clean that shit, leave it alone. Yeah. But see, that's the thing, man. Like, once you get older, man, you start realizing that the Most High God has been trying to put his people on game the whole time. Stop looking at things how they appear. Because how a woman appears, I'm going to tell you, man, she'll take you to hell if you let her. She will leave you with nothing if you let her. Give me the way that has destroyed kings. The Bible literally says that fall not into the way that has literally destroyed royalty. And that is giving all of your strength to women. I know we stepping off the lesson for a second, but I think it needs to be stated. Right? Because she walked by us with a stank face every week now. And my question is, are you mad because you ain't got a man yet? Because I done already told you how to make this shit happen. And you mad at us because for some reason you just can't do it. Again, I have to say it. If you a caked up white woman and you can't get a black man to stick by you here, when niggas is cooning and following behind white women for less, hey man, come on, bro. But then again, she might be an Israelite. And see, and that's why I said I know our people come from Russia, because she said she was from Ukraine. I'm gonna tell you, they have the same attitude problem. They act the same. A little bit more reserved, but when they come to America and they realize ain't nobody gonna hit them in the face, cracking a fool, it's over in Russia, I ain't gonna lie to you. Them Edomites, they put paws on you quick. They have to reboot the system. But here in America, shit, these women act a fool. Go ahead and get it.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 3.
Bring it up.
Give not thy strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
So you're not supposed to be perverting your ways just for the beauty of a woman, to get the attention of a woman. And that's something that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men, we are prone to doing. If you read about our people during the Byzantine Empire, as a matter of fact, I have a book here. Where is it? Do I have it with me? No, I left it at home. You remember that, what was it, the memoirs of John Mackey? You remember that book where I can read about the likeness of all the people from Europe? One of the traits about black men in Europe during the Byzantine Empire was that we were hopelessly given to women. And it makes that description repeatedly, over and over and over. Doesn't care for business, hopelessly given to women. Some of us were hopelessly given to food. Some of us were drunks. And you got to remember, this is talking about the people in the royal court. These are the people who would stand in front of the king and give a report. So it don't matter what level we're at, we're doing the same shit. That's why I keep trying to tell our people, man, that's why God keeps putting you in slavery, because you refuse to change. And despite this slavery being the worst that the world has ever seen, Jake is unchanged. Try telling a nigga he can't have pork. Try telling a Puerto Rican man not to go to the strip club, and he balling out of control. Nigga will fight you for it, and I'm dead serious. Try telling Issachar that he can't go to a strip club. I'm telling you, man, and the reason why I keep saying strip club for Northern Kingdom, that's one of the reasons why they got kicked out of the land. Because they were hopelessly given to basically the strip club life, the groves, the high places. Most people don't understand when it comes to devil worship, sex magic is part of it. Can you look up the term grove in the blue letter for me? That's why the Most High God would tear down our groves repeatedly. Because the groves were basically strip clubs dedicated to the goddess Ashtoreth, a fertility goddess. And we're not supposed to have any other god besides the Most High God. And if you call yourself worshiping a god or goddess other than the Most High, then the Most High got a problem with that. And now you see why there were certain kings in the Bible where they would tear down all the idols and all the idolatrous temples, but they wouldn't tear down the groves. Because if you tear down the strip club, now you got all these niggas walking around with nowhere to go. Go ahead and get it. No. No, let me see. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I don't know why I do that, man. Yeah, got time for the Bible, King?
I'm down.
Okay, cool. So I want to show you something real cool, real quick. So, you know, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men, we tend to be hopelessly given to women. Did you know we were like that in the Bible? Did you ever hear in the Bible where it would say that God would inspire our kings to tear down groves? You know what a grove is? Read it. Go ahead and get it.
So groves in the blue letter, Asherah, means for idol worship, a Babylonian Canaanite goddess of fortune and happiness, the supposed consort of Baal, her images, the goddess of goddesses, her images.
That's all we need, right?
So it's an idolatrous ritual where they would watch a woman swing around a pole. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, get that.
Sacred trees or poles set up near an altar.
so you would have a naked woman swinging around a pole, and then there would be an orgy. What does that sound like? A strip club. Now you see why when the kings of Israel, they would tear down all the idols, but they would leave the strip club up. Because try telling a black man, don't go to the strip club. You already know, try telling a Mexican man, hey man, you can't go to the strip club no more. What is he going to ask you immediately? What am I supposed to do? Acting like the only thing on the planet to do is go to the strip club. So as an Israelite king, because you know blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are the chosen of God. What should we be doing? How do you do that? Okay, give me Deuteronomy 12 and 10 real quick. Or is it 10 and 12? 10 and 12. Let's get it back. So, when it comes to worshiping the Most High God, there's only one way to do it, and that's to keep His commandments. Right? How many commandments are there? They say 10. There's 613. Now, if me and you were playing Monopoly, and I know all the rules and you only know 10, who gonna win? Me. So how you supposed to worship God when you don't know how to do the other 603? That's why we out here, King.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
So what's a commandment that God ordered us to keep for our good? We're going to make it quick because I know y'all working out. You eat pork, King? No? All praises. Hey. Okay. Well, we're going to read that commandment to you. Now, do you like to eat crab, lobster, anything like that? Okay. Now, you can't do that. Right? Now, I have a question. Is what God desires greater than yours? So God's desires aren't greater than yours? Okay, they are. I'm about to, I know it's, you got to make sense. No, you good, you good. So if God's desires are greater than yours, if he orders you to do something, you're going to do it without question, right? All right, he's going to hold you to this. And this is just to frame it for the camera. Everybody saying that they love God and love Christ, what did Jesus say? He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's what he's talking about. So if you say you love Christ, but I tell you, hey man, God said not to eat pork, you go, well, I'm going to do that anyway. Do you love God in Christ? No.
Leviticus 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
Get that seafood.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
So what if you like catfish? Can you eat that? No, because there's no scales. Now, what if you like, obviously no crab, no shrimp, but what if you like Irish sea moss? It's the new health craze, man. No, you can't. Anything that's in the waters, because you got to remember, fins and scales. If it doesn't have fins and scales and it comes out of the water, it's an abomination. Because if you think that the animals in the water don't eat that for food? They do. So what you doing eating up all their food, man? And I say that to any Israelite. That's a good question. So you can eat things that have fins and scales. So tuna, trout, salmon, shit. What is that? Yeah, the mahi tuna. I don't like the way it tastes. It tastes like salt water for real. But then you've got basically things that have like hooves. Basically, the reason why you can't eat a pig is because it has hooves, but it doesn't chew the cud, right? So you can eat cows, you can eat deer, you can eat a roebuck. Hell, you can eat a giraffe. Long as it fulfills the law, right? That's all we're going to give you for now. If you see us, King, come stop by and just have a word, man. What's your name, King? Sean, I'm Hayael, as in Hayael. All right, brother, we the Hebrew Israelites. Are you Mexican by chance? You come from the tribe of Issachar. Issachar means he who is hired. Who are the hardest working people on the planet? Hands down. Do you know the Bible says that Issachar saw that rest was good? Who like to party the hardest out of all the people here in America? Y'all party so hard, when they have a birthday, it'd be like 2 days later, y'all still drinking and partying. We have to go home. We're like, yo, I'm about to die, man. Can I leave? You leaving already, man? Yes. Hey, but Issachar or Sean, people that's nasty. Right? Nice to meet you. Have a blessed one, man. Get Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and that's going to be the last one. See, and this is why we have to be out here, man, because if we were not out here, brothers like us throughout these cities all across the earth every Saturday, who would let you know who you are? And not only do we let you know who you are, we try to make it personable with you, man. So you understand, like, oh, that's why I'm like that. The Bible also says that there were mighty men of Issachar. who were skilled with sword and bow. Why do you think when the white man showed up here in America, even though there was only a fraction of you left from all the diseases that you had to go through, he still couldn't run through you? He still got gridlocked with warfare. The only way he took over the places here in America is he had to stab everybody in the back. Oh yeah, we gonna meet, we gonna talk about peace. Yup. Meanwhile, he done sent a contingent of soldiers to murder and rape all the children and the women. And to kill all the stragglers. He done gave y'all smallpox plans. See, again, we have to bring these things to our people's remembrance. But go ahead and get it.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Most High God chose us to be a special people. See, again, and we know we're special because most of the time in our free time, we watch our people being special. If you like sports especially, all you're doing is watching Jake be special. If you like art, every art that you basically have interest in, Jake is the one excelling at. That's why when you look at, like, you know, literal art, it's trash because they literally have people throwing buckets of paint on canvases talking about it's avant-garde and all this other shit. But see, when you have blacks, Hispanics, and Indians putting their hand into art, it redefines the genre that they have an interest in. And only the Israelites can reinvent themselves over and over and over and over and still have plenty of creativity left in the tank. But that's why we consistently and constantly tell our people, come back to the Most High God so all that salt, swag, and savor that you have can be put to good use. But y'all, we about to get our favorite scripture before we cut out of here. Right? Because I know you hard-headed Israelites don't like this message. That's too bad. We're going to keep purveying this message until the Most High God take us off these streets, which is going to be real soon. As a matter of fact, we're going to get that in a second. But let's go to Amos 8 real quick. I just want to prove the point that eventually all them sour looks that you give us because we're trying to teach you about who the Most High God is through the scriptures, them looks going to turn to terror and dismay that we ain't no longer out here and all hell is breaking loose. Right? But 8 and... Ah, shit, I can't get to... Oh, right. Anyway, get me... Now let's go to 5. Slide. Or is it 8? The famine of the word. No, it's 8. It's 8. 8 and 11.
Slide. I was in the wrong chapter. I couldn't see it.
Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst.
In that day, y'all going to be looking for this wisdom, and it is not going to be out here. And at that point, hey, whoever's for the sword to the sword, whoever's for the famine to the famine, for the death to the death. It's like that. Let's get that revelation real quick.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and they may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
And with that, y'all, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praises be unto Yahweh. In the name of his son Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yasharal.
Kwam Yasharallah.
And Mawath Lababal.
Mawat Lababal.
For y'all who don't speak Hebrew, that means destruction of Babylon. Yeah, buddy. All right, y'all, we done. Shalom, and it's good to be back, y'all. Peace.